Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Isa na naman pong magandang umaga and hopefully it's productive today dahil ang ating topic ngayong araw na ito sa CocoKwentuhan ay ang organization-led Coco Negosyo. Sa inyong likod, ako nga po pala si Leo, ang inyong MC sa araw na ito as we celebrate 35th National Coconut Week as organized by the PCA. Ang ating tema sa araw na ito ay Organisadong Grupo, Susi ng Matatag na Negosyo. We will be hearing from organized coconut industries from different parts of the Philippines at magkakaroon po tayo ng open discussion mamaya as well as more directed insights from our very special guests and panelists. Simulan po natin ang araw na ito with a prayer. So let us all feel the presence of our Lord.
Dear Almighty God, Father of all, we thank you for this day. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to gather here today as we celebrate the 35th Coconut Month. In this Coconut Webinar Series, we humbly ask you to bless each and every one of us, especially our coconut farmers to whom we dedicate this celebration. As we face this time of pandemic, our coconut farmers' welfare is at risk more than ever. We ask you to shower us today with your wisdom during our lectures and discussions that we may find the best possible solution in every challenges the coconut industry faces. We also seek your guidance as we go on in this event, that we achieve our goal for this gathering to help our coconut farmers engage into agripreneurship in order to attain economic development in the industry. Your Holy Spirit will ensure the success of this event through the enactment of the knowledge acquired from this activity. May the participants, especially our coconut farmers, benefit from this activity and evolve into agripreneurs. We ask all this in the name of Jesus, our God and Savior. Amen.
Amen. Ladies and gentlemen, once more, ito po ang ating CocoKwentuhan celebrating 35th National Coconut Week. Sa CocoKwentuhan, negosyo ang pag-usapan, suporta ng industriya at gobyerno sa magniniyog ay asahan. Ang atin pong matutunghayan na susunod ay ang house rules and webinar mechanics. No? Paano nga ba gumagana ang ating webinar series? Pang-apat na araw na po natin ito. And what might be some important details na maaalala natin, no? Para po maganda at engaging ang ating webinar. Live po tayo via Facebook and YouTube at kung nag-register po tayo ay pwede po kayong sumali via Zoom. Maganda po sa Zoom ay pwede po kayong magpadala ng inyong mga questions at kayo na po, pwedeng direkta po kayo ang magtanong, no? So there will be instructions on that too. For that, let us hear from our beloved DA Erlene Manohar, CocoKwentuhan Chair.
Good morning! Magandang umaga sa ating lahat. Welcome to the CocoKwentuhan 2021 Webinar Series. For the mechanics of the webinar, a keynote speaker will deliver a message about the topic. After the message, presenters will showcase a 20-minute video presentation and record the discussion of their success stories. Only after all presentations that the reactor will give insights about the presentations, not more than 20 minutes. Then after the reactor, a Q&A session to follow using the chat functions and to be facilitated by the moderator. Only registered participants can join in the discussion. Rapporteurs shall be the one to feed the moderator inquiries through chat. All non-registered viewers can view the webinar live through the official Facebook page of Philippine Coconut Authority. For our house rules, first, all participants are reminded to keep microphones on mute when someone else is presenting or speaking. Second, be mindful of the background noise to ensure clarity during discussions. Turning on the video when raising question is highly encouraged for proper documentation. Thank you po. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Niyog-niyogan tayo. Buko-buko ang buhay ko. Pilipinas, halika na. Nasa paligid lamang ang iyong hinahanap. Huwag mag-alinlangan, huwag nang mangamba. Ang puno ng buhay ay pag-asa. Magtanim ka lang ito, tiyak ikaw ang siyang panalo. Walang matatalo, ito ang sigurado. Ang puno ng buhay ang ating pag-asa. Halika na, magtanim at simula. Niyog-niyogan tayo para sa kinabukasan. Buko-buko ang buhay ko, tungo sa kaginhawaan. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, saan ka man ay mayroon yan. Ang buko-niyog ang siyang pinagkukunan ng sambayanan ng pangangailangan. Niyog-niyogan tayo para sa kinabukasan.
Ayun na po, ladies and gentlemen. Sana po alam na po natin when we begin our Q&A later. And of course, kung meron po tayong mga kilala na nag-register at hindi pa sila nandito sa ating Zoom, please let them know dahil magsisimula na po ang ating program proper. Alright? But first, to set the tone at para po lahat tayo ay may direksyon, let's all hear an inspiring message from our very own and our beloved Secretary of Agriculture and Chairman of the PCA Board. Let's hear from Honorable William D. Dar.
Good day to all. First, I'd like to greet the Coco Negosyo partners who are joining this webinar, the presenters of the success stories, the agripreneurs, the private sectors, LGUs, leaders, policymakers, advocates of the coconut industry, and honored guests. Isang mapagpalang araw po sa ating lahat. This is the second webinar as a major activity of the National Coconut Week of 2021 celebration, using the virtual platform due to the new normal situation under the pandemic. However, despite these hurdles, we relentlessly pursue this activity to circulate and share the elements of Coco Negosyo success stories. Sa araw na ito, hayaan ninyo akong bigyang pugay ang ating mga bayani sa Nyugan, mga nagtiyaga at nagpakahirap para makamtan ang pag-asa na galing sa Coco Levy. Matagal silang naghintay at umasa na darating ang biyayang ito na sa kanila rin nagmula. Ito ang magiging pundasyon ng pagbabago sa industriya ng pagnyunyog at makakaasa kayo sa paggabay at suporta ng gobyerno at pribadong sektor. Isang magandang tema ng CocoKwentuhan, may kabuluhan at pakikinabangan para sa kabuhayan at pagkakitaan. Sa aking panunungkulan bilang kalihim ng agrikultura, ang ani at kita ay ang konsepto na naging sandigan ng mga programa ng agrikultura. Ang industriya ng pagniniyog ay isa sa pangunahing industriya na may malaking kontribusyon sa ating ekonomiya, subalit nakakalungkot na marami sa ating mga magniniyog ay nananatili sa poverty level. Ang solusyon ay pagbabago sa estratehiya at sama-samang pagbalangkas ng mga programa na tututok sa kapakanan ng sektor at sisiguraduhin na pantay na benepisyo para sa lahat. Naniniwala po ako na coconut farmers need not be poor at ito ay matutupad kung sila ay mabibigyan ng pagkakataon and be guided sa pagnenegosyo at kalaman sa mga teknolohiya. Ang webinar na ito ay magsisilbing inspirasyon ng maraming magninyog na magkakaroon na ng pagkakataon na maging negosyante sa tulong ng gobyerno at suporta ng pribadong sektor. Partnership, consolidation, convergence, at commitment ang susi sa tagumpay na ito. Rin ang direksyon ng mga programa sa ilalim ng Coco Levy Trust Fund Act. Ang mga pagbabagong ito ang magiging tulay sa pagangat ng coconut industry na may layunin na hindi maiiwan ang mga maliliit na magninyog at manggagawa sa nyugan sa pag-unlad ng industriya. Sama-samang pagsisikap ng mga ahensya ng gobyerno, private sectors, policymakers, at kaming mga leader sa agrikultura ay laging handa sa paggagabay at pagsusuporta sa inyong mga adhikain tungo sa pag-unlad. I'd like to commend PCA for organizing this event. I hope this will spark the enthusiasm of our coconut stakeholders, and the success stories will serve as models for emulation. Hindi ito nagtatapos ang kwentuhan. Nararapat na ang mga ito ay isakatuparan upang ang tagumpay ay makamtan. Maraming salamat at mabuhay kayong lahat.
Maraming salamat po, ladies and gentlemen. Once more, setting the tone for the rest of our day here, hoping for a productive CocoKwentuhan para sa day 4. Once more, that was our Honorable William D. Dar. Up next, I would like to invite, and I hope we can all give a warm welcome to our beloved admin here at PCA, former highest official of the Armed Forces of the Philippines, leading the charge here, now at the National Agency for Coconut and Palm Oil Development, the administrator of the Philippine Coconut Authority. Let's all welcome General Benjamin R. Madrigal Jr. to introduce our keynote speaker.
Thank you, Daryl. To our keynote speaker, whom I'll have the honor of introducing later, our Secretary of the Department of Agriculture and the Chairman of the PCA Board, Secretary William D. Dar, our presenters for this morning, and our esteemed reactor, Undersecretary Bless Lantayona of the Department of Trade and Industry, my fellow workers in the Department of Agriculture and the Philippine Coconut Authority, our distinguished discussants, and to our participants and netizens viewing via Zoom and Facebook Live, isa pong masagana at muli mapagpalang umaga po sa ating lahat. Our keynote speaker today started in the National Economic and Development Authority after finishing her Bachelor of Science in Mathematics degree from the University of the Philippines, Diliman. She obtained her master's degree in economics from the same university. She left NEDA to take her PhD in agricultural economics at the University of Minnesota in the United States. Upon completion of her doctorate degree, she pursued becoming a full-time researcher in various international research organizations, including International Food Policy Research Institute in Washington, D.C., then at the International Rice Research Institute in Los Baños, Laguna. She also previously worked as the chief of the Research and Development Department at the Southeast Asian Center for Graduate Study and Research in Agriculture, or CIRCA. As a researcher, she focused doing policy studies related on the development of the agriculture sector to improve the welfare of rural households. While being a full-time researcher, she also served as consultant to various development partners like the Asian Development Bank, the World Bank, International Fund for Agricultural Development, Australian Center for International Agricultural Research, and the United States Agency for International Development, as well as the governments of Indonesia, Vietnam, Malaysia, and of course our country. She rejoined NEDA in 2012 as its Director of Agriculture, Natural Resources, and Environment staff. Her return to NEDA expanded her field of expertise to include work on the more sustainable management and use of natural resources. Her assignment to the Regional Development Group made her work in agriculture and rural development doubly meaningful, especially with the country's goal of promoting more balanced growth across the regions. Her work experience is truly an illustration of a complete cycle of policy research where the development reforms that are pushed are based on results of policy studies. With her background and her vast experience that I have mentioned, here to provide the keynote message to today's topic on organization-led Coco Negosyo, let us all welcome the NEDA Undersecretary for Regional Development Group, Undersecretary Mercedita Alcawili Sombilla.
PCA Administrator Madrigal, Yusek Lantayona, colleagues in the industry, participants to this CocoKwentuhan. Friends, magandang umaga sa lahat. NEDA indeed extends its congratulations to the Philippine Coconut Authority for organizing this CocoKwentuhan to celebrate the 35th National Coconut Week. We also thank the organizer for the invitation to be part of this kwentuhan to express our support to the need to develop the industry. In the past 3 days of this celebration, there were several presentations and discussions already made with regards to various businesses and other development activities related to the coconut sector. Yung activities o mga negosyo na pinangungunahan ng mga kooperatiba noong first day ng kwentuhan, yung iba't ibang LGU efforts ay natakil noong pangalawang araw at kahapon naman yung mga private sector-led business efforts ang focus ng discussion. Today, we will be hearing success stories from community-based organized groups, which is the task I'm requested to expound and the need for such a scheme to promote the development of the coconut sector. From the presentations and discussions that took place in the past 3 days, and on those that will be tackled today, we can agree on the tremendous opportunities the industry can offer because of the commodities' diversified uses. Let me then start this keynote message by elucidating once again the importance of the coconut industry to the country's economy and to about 3.5 million coconut farmers and farm workers whose livelihoods are dependent on this so-called tree of life. Coconut is planted on 3.6 million hectares, next to palay that is harvested from 4.7 million hectares of agricultural lands. It is grown in about 70% of the provinces of the country. The top producing provinces are mostly located in Mindanao. Coconut production over the past decade, from 2010 to 2020, averaged 14.8 million metric tons per year. valued at 30.4 billion pesos per year at constant 2,000 prices. Coconut subsector, including copra, contributed an average of 84.3 billion pesos per year at constant 2018 prices, or 5% of the total gross value added in agriculture, forestry, and fisheries sector in 2010 to 2020. Exports of coconut products have served as the nation's prime foreign exchange earner. In 2020 alone, the country's exports of coconut products such as coconut oil, desiccated coconut, and copra meal or cake is valued at USD 1.16 billion, or about 67 billion pesos, which is 25% of the total value of exported agro-based products. I am sure that these statistics have been mentioned in the past 3 days for this event. The very reasons why we need to strengthen the industry that have for a long time been left in the periphery of government policies and institutional support. The signing of the Republic Act RA 11524, creating the Coconut Farmers and Industry Trust Fund by the President early this year, gives great hopes to address the perennial problems that have haunted the coconut industry for decades. The low farm productivity of coconut farms has been attributed to lack of good farm management practices, senility of coconut trees, and limited knowledge and access to farm technologies and to new value-adding or processing technologies, to name a few. This has been aggravated by the vulnerability of the sector to climate and disaster risks. The low farm productivity has likewise affected the productivity of the processing sector because of the unreliability of coconut supply, low quality of copra, and the multi-layered marketing of produced, resulting in longer delivery time from farmers to millers. The non-compliance of coconut products with certain quality standards has likewise had impacts on countries' stance in export markets. All these problems have resulted to the industry's low competitive stance both in the national and international arena. The multi-stakeholder platform pursued by the Philippine Coconut Authority, where all actors have been allowed to participate, decide and find solutions to the problems that have pestered the industry, is indeed the way to go to chart its sustainable growth. In pursuant to RA 11524, the Coconut Farmers and Industry Roadmap, or the Coco Firm 2021-2040, and the Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan, or CFIDP, are being formulated using the very platform with thematic recommendations, strategies, programs, and interventions that are very much aligned to the strategies in the updated Philippine Development Plan 2017 to 2022 for the sustainable growth of the coconut sector. Two areas can be noted in all the three development plans, the PDP, the Coco Firm, and the CFIDP, that indicate a paradigm shift in strengthening the industry. One is the emphasis to organize farmers into formal groups to attain the industry's goals. It should be noted that coconut production is dominated by small land holdings of 0.5 hectares to 5 hectares. Farm consolidation and clustering arrangement among small and medium growers need to be promoted, particularly in production, processing, and value-adding activities to take advantage of communal inputs and economies of scale. Through organizing small farmers, there will be better, perhaps increased access to support services such as formal credit, modern farm technologies and machinery, capacity building, and livelihood project, among others. This will enable even the smallholder farmer belonging to the organized body to adhere to market standards of supply reliability and product quality as well as meet the demand of larger agribusiness enterprises and institutional buyers. Consolidating or clustering small farmers and MSMEs will also allow product consolidation, expand supply to existing markets, and open up new markets, thereby increasing their income. In addition, promoting forward linkages of farmers' organizations to industry sector is going to be beneficial from the economic standpoint. Schemes such as contract growing arrangement and corporate farming to integrate small farmers and MSMEs into larger agribusiness enterprises have been very much in practice and many of them have been successful. Examples of which are the presentations that are going to be made today. The other area being exposed in the plan is on the adoption of the value chain approach to maximize the exploitation of the stream of benefits that can be derived from the various uses of coconut, and in the process creating more jobs in the countryside and producing quality products at least cost. New coconut products like cocoa water, virgin coconut oil, cocoa sugar, and many others are gaining traction in the export market, especially if they are labeled organic. Even in the case of the traditional products like copra meal as animal feed and coconut oil, which is up against stiff competition, there is still room for improving and modernizing the production processes. Through value chain analysis, interventions are not just concentrated in production of the crop, but also to the attendant processing, transport, marketing, and consumption of the products and its byproducts by the consumers. It will allow us to objectively look into our limitation and search for niches where we enjoy some comparative advantage. Let me stress at this point the government's full support in the establishment of farmers' organizations and MSMEs, especially those focused on agribusiness. Many of you are perhaps already familiar with the incentives like income tax holiday, exemption from export tax, and others that are afforded to enterprises registered in the DTI Board of Investment and which are engaged in projects and activities that promote commercial production of agricultural products, agro-processing, manufacturing of agri-fishery and machinery and equipment, innovation activities such as conduct of commercial research and development activities, and commercialization of new and emerging technologies, among others. Of course, government agencies such as the Department of Agriculture, the Department of Science and Technology, and Department of Trade and Industry continuously implement programs and projects that support coconut farmers' organization and MSMEs through the provision of agricultural inputs, information and access to production and post-production technologies, capacity building, and shared service facilities, among others, to improve the productivity and competitiveness of farmers and MSMEs. As of July 2021, there are about 18 government projects enrolled in the updated Public Investment Program 2017-2022, which are geared towards improving the sustainability and resiliency of coconut production, with a total investment target of Philippine peso 20.17 billion. Some of the proposed and ongoing projects and programs are focused on replanting and or rehabilitation of existing or standing coconut trees, mass production of high-quality coconut hybrids for distribution to farmers, and institutionalization of coconut-based enterprises through an integrated approach, among others. And finally, the establishment of the Coconut Farmers and Industry Trust Fund under the RA 11524, with its 75 billion peso budget, has now been made available to provide assistance to the sector for the first 5 years of implementation of the Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan, or the CFIDP. It is stipulated in the provision of the law that 5% of this budget is intended for organizing and empowerment of coconut farmer organizations and cooperatives under the Cooperative Development Authority. I am sure that this keynote message will be substantiated by the experiences of our colleagues in the private sector who will share how organization-led agribusinesses are helping to achieve the vision of the coconut roadmap to make the coconut sector be a modernized, industrialized, and a globally competitive industry. I would therefore like to recognize the initiatives of the Virgin Coconut Oil Producers and Traders Association of the Philippines, or the VCOP, the Philippine Activated Carbon Manufacturers Association Incorporated, or the PACMA, and the Philippine Coconut Oil Producers Association, or the PICOPA, who are working for a common aspiration to actively engage various players in the coconut industry and fully realize the potential of the Philippine coconut products in the global market. In closing, let me enjoin all stakeholders to continuously work together to promote and empower coconut-based agribusinesses, be it led by cooperatives, the local government units, the private sector, or farmers and communities towards the development of the coconut industry. Maraming salamat po at mabuhay tayong lahat. PCA Administrator.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you once more. Our keynote speaker, NEDA Director Mercedita Sombilia. Ladies and gentlemen, oras na po para ating matunghayan ang ating mga success stories na nabanggit, no? Yesterday, we heard from the private sector. Today, we're going to be hearing from organization-led Coco Negosyo. At ito po ang quick overview. No? Sino nga ba ang ating mapapakinggan ngayong araw na ito at saan sila galing? Ang ating mga organization-led Coco Negosyo. Tatlo po sila in totality. And again, I think we are going the spread from Luzon to Mindanao. Una po dyan ang Virgin Coconut Oil Producers and Traders Association of the Philippines, also known as VCOP, ang Philippine Activated Carbon Manufacturers Association, or known as PACMA, and last but not least, ang PICOPA, Philippine Coconut Oil Producers Association. Yan, tatlo po sila at sisimulan na po ito ng ating representative from VCOP. We would like to hear from two of the representatives, no? Dalawa po sila na magkikwento at maghahandog ng mabuting balita mula sa kanilang organisasyon. Dalawa po, si Sir Marco Reyes na nila pong president, and he is again representing VCOP, as well as Miss Agnes Cristobal. Siya po ay ang executive director ng VCOP. Let's all hear all about what they've been doing over there at the Virgin Coconut Oil Producers and Traders Association of the Philippines.
Registered with the SEC in March 1, 2004. The Virgin Coconut Oil Producer and Traders Association of the Philippines, Incorporated, was renamed Virgin Coconut Oil Producers and Traders Association of the Philippines, Incorporated on April 19, 2005. The original incorporators of VCO Association were Ms. Tess Santos, Mr. Paulo Mamangon Jr., Mr. Cesar Villarriba, Ms. Selina Sayong, Mr. Dionisio Coros Jr., Mr. Charlie Tena, Mr. Ildefonso Talyada. The association was active in the years 2005 to 2007, holding meetings and gathering new members, mostly micro, small and medium enterprises. was gaining popularity, encouraging cooperatives and entrepreneurs to venture into production. To further popularize VCOP published a book, Oil You Wanted to Ask About VCO. The association worked together with PCA, DOST, and DABAFPS to craft the Philippine National Standard VCO, which became the standard APCC, and other countries will adapt for their VCO product standards. At the time of the first PNS, most of the VCO produced used fermentation method, with the bulk of production produced in Quezon and Laguna provinces. However, the quality of the VCO in the market in the early years was not consistent. Clarity, moisture content, extended fermentation periods were some of the challenges encountered by MSME processors. For a time, many small producers were forced to reduce or completely stop their processing to cut their losses, whereas some VCOP members sought ways to improve the processing techniques to establish better quality VCO and more efficient ways to improve oil recovery. The years prior to 2014 were challenging for VCO producers since demand was not much, especially in the export market. The president then was Ms. Tess Santos. Under her leadership, Ms. Santos sought to maintain association activities, conducting meetings in her office, albeit with small groups of members. In 2014, export demand grew. It was also at this time that VCOP was revitalized, conducting regular monthly meetings, usually held at the PCA conference rooms. The priority subject at which time was the threat of the infestation of the Coco lizard. Members grew steadily until 2015. VCOP meetings were conducted bi-monthly, held either at the PCA or the DTI International Conference Room. VCOP participation in trade fairs and exhibitions by invitation from CITEM, DA, AMAS, and other government agencies were taken advantage of by members both local and abroad. In the last election for VCOP directors held in 2017, Ms. Tess Santos was made chairman, with Mr. Marco Reyes as president and Agnes Cristobal executive director. Mr. Noni Magcase is treasurer. Fast forward to 2021, VCOP engaged with Dr. Fabian Derrit of Ateneo de Manila University to study the possible amendments to the Philippine National Standard for VCO, taking into consideration the other processes now in practice in VCO production. This 2-year study was funded by DOST PCIEERD in 2019 and completed in June this year. Part of the output of this project is the suggested amendments to the BCOPNS and the printing of a guidebook in English and Filipino published by PCA and manuals for good manufacturing practices for BCO production published by BCOP. BCO Philippines has successfully achieved its goal of making the Philippines the leading global source of quality virgin coconut oil. It has been able to unite the different producers and traders, including related and support institutions, and in setting the quality standards for virgin coconut oil. And we are extremely passionate in maintaining the leadership of the Philippines for virgin coconut oil in the world.
I would like to congratulate the Philippine Coconut Authority for successfully organizing the month-long coconut celebration and this week's celebration of Coconut Week. We are the Virgin Coconut Oil Producers and Traders Association of the Philippines, best known as VCOP. We are honored to be featured on this day for organization-led Coco Negosyo. I'm Tess Eliazar Santos, now chair of VCOP. VCOP was organized in 2004 when VCO was barely known. A handful of incorporators believed that someday VCO will be recognized because of its amazing properties for healing the natural way. Now, after 70 years, it's finally gaining recognition in the Philippines and the world. Thank you for the support of agencies like PCA, DTI, DA, DOST. Slowly but surely, we have improved our VCO processing. Philippine national standards are in place. Improved quality of VCO in terms of taste and smell. Publication of a guidebook for food safety. Thank you for the dedication and work of Dr. Fabian Dairit on VCO, started by his father, the late Dr. Conrado Dairit. Also for the researches of Dr. Vermen Varallo Roel. From the U.S., Dr. Bruce Fife and Dr. Mary Newport, and so on. As I speak, a breakthrough was experienced during the pandemic. From the beginning, VCO was believed to be antiviral. On this basis, DOST funded clinical studies on COVID cases. Results of 2 studies were positive. Both studies concluded that it is an effective adjunct supplement to ease the symptoms of suspect and probable COVID-19 cases, so that it won't become a severe case. More clinical studies for COVID are underway. As an association, VCOP wish list includes more clinical studies on the other benefits of VCO, not only on COVID. Financial and marketing assistance here and abroad, and research on the utilization of byproducts. I feel I have just begun. I would like to thank the members of VCOP for believing our vision, the board members who tirelessly work for the improvement of our industry. We are blessed with abundant coconut produce in the Philippines. Let us use this blessing wisely and for the glory of God. Mabuhay!
Maraming salamat po once more. Our testimonials and stories from VCOP, the Virgin Coconut Oil Producers and Traders Association of the Philippines. Nakatawa po na nakikita po natin they're very confident in their reach in helping so many in their community. But for now, let's hear from our representatives from PACMA. That is the Philippine Activated Carbon Manufacturers Association Incorporated. Sila po ay rinirepresenta ni Mr. Bonifacio Fernandez Jr., ang kanilang Executive Vice President. Once more, dinggin po natin ang success story ng Philippine Activated Carbon Manufacturers Association Incorporated.
The Filipino coconut farmer is the most important stakeholder in the Philippine coconut industry. It is with the farmer where the industry is born. The Philippine coconut industry is a diverse industry composed of many sectors like oil refining, desiccated coconut, and one of the least known sector is the activated carbon sector. Activated carbon plays an important part in water purification, gold processing, pharmaceutical, and food applications. To promote and protect the activated carbon industry, the manufacturers decided to unite and collaborate through the formation of Philippine Activated Carbon Manufacturers Association of the Philippines, or PACMA, in 2001. Every end of the month, PACMA meets to discuss the common challenges they face in the industry and comes up with action plans on how to rise up to these challenges. Problems relating to raw material supply, logistics, government regulations, and how the organization can give back to farmers and the community.
On behalf of PACMA, Philippine Activated Carbon Manufacturer Association, I would like to acknowledge the presence of our VIPs. General Benjamin Madrigal, PCA Administrator, Honorable William Dar, Secretary of Agriculture, Honorable Senator Cynthia Villar, Chairperson of Senate Committee on Agriculture and Food. Greetings to you and to all of you fellow attendees to this gathering. Congratulations are in order to PCA for hosting this CocoKwentuhan with the theme of sa CocoKwentuhan Negosyo ang pag-uusapan, suporta ng industriya at gobyerno sa magniniyog ay asahan. Greetings to all the stakeholders, the farmers, and their cooperatives. This is an opportune time for us, PACMA, to introduce our association to you. In 2012, we formed the Association of Manufacturers of Activated Carbon. There are now 9 members in the association: BF Industry, Davao Central Chemical Corporation or DCCC, Tunao Carbon, Green Carbon, Jacobi Carbon, Mapicon Carbon, Mindanao Activated Carbon, Premium AC Corporation, and Philippine Japan Activated Carbon or PJAC. The message we want to get through to you, the farmers or coconut farmers, is we need your charcoal. And as you know, the limiting factor for our capacity of manufacturing of activated carbon is the supply of charcoal. We want to encourage you, the coconut farmers, to make charcoal instead of throwing them away or use them as fuel. We want to also encourage you, the coconut farmers, to work together and form cooperatives so that you can enjoy more benefits from the government, especially now that we have the Coco Levy funds. So again, I want to thank you, coconut farmers, for your charcoal. Because without your charcoal, our activated carbon industry cannot exist. Thank you.
The common goal of PACMA members is for the sustainability of the industry, which in turn will continue to support the coconut farmers and their families in the years to come. We encourage coconut farmers to band together and form cooperatives to take full advantage of government programs and reap directly from the fruits of their labors.
Maraming salamat po. Short and sweet, very brief message from our good friend from PACMA. Yan. It's nice to hear that PACMA is keeping it together and helping out how they can. Once more, we are talking about organization-led Coco Negosyo. Let's go ahead and jump over to Picola and to represent them and to mainly tell their story. We would like to acknowledge their chairman, Mr. Jesse Cheng. Yeah, and let's hear from the Philippine Coconut Oil Producers Association. All right. I think that was the presentation as prepared by our friends from PCOPA, Philippine Coconut Oil Producers Association. Maraming salamat po once more, represented by their chairman, Mr. Jesse Cheng. Ladies and gentlemen, yun po ang ating mga kwento at mga updates mula sa ating tatlong napiling organizations na nagre-representa sa ating tema ngayong araw na ito. Organization-led Coco Negosyos. Yan po ang may temang Organisadong Grupo, Susi ng Matatag na Negosyo. I believe up next we are going to be having our reactor, but after a quick break. Quick update lang po, no? Tayo po ay more than 200 participants dito sa ating Zoom meeting. So kung nag-register po kayo, please, I hope you guys are here. And tingnan po natin kung live po tayo ngayon din sa Philippine Coconut Authority page on Facebook at YouTube. Yan. Nandyan din po tayo. And please do let everyone know na tayo po ay magkakaroon na ng Q&A. Again, all about our topic, organization-led Coco Negosyo. Live din po tayo dyan. Magbabalik ang CocoKwentuhan dito sa PCA, hatid sa inyo ng PCA. We're celebrating 35th National Coconut Week. Kita-kits po after 5 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, isang masagana at mapagpalang araw sa inyong lahat. It is indeed a great honor and privilege to speak before all of you as we launch the 35th National Coconut Week celebration.
I want to welcome you all as we open the National Coconut Week, which gives recognition to the farmers and many others responsible for cultivating, processing, and bringing to the Filipinos a wide range of coconut products. Mabuhay tayong lahat. Let us continue to support the coconut industry.
Masinog ka, simpleng bagay, pagyamanin, palaguin at ibigin. Huwag matakot, mangamba, siguradong panalo ka. Masaganang niyugan patungo sa kaginhawaan. Niyug-niyugan, niyug-niyugan tayo para sa kinabukasan. Ang buhay ko, tungo sa kaginhawaan.
Good morning. First of all, I congratulate the Philippine Coconut Authority for bringing together all stakeholders in the coconut industry to discuss the way forward at this critical time. I look forward to the outcomes of this forum. I am sure they will help enrich the plans that are being drawn up for this challenged industry. I congratulate the Philippine Coconut Authority and all the industry stakeholders on this 35th National Coconut Week commemoration. Thank you.
Pilipinas, halika na, nasa paligid lamang ang iyong hinahanap. Huwag mag-alinlangan, huwag nang mangamba. Ang puno ng buhay ay pag-asa. Magtanim ka lang ito, tiyak ikaw ang siyang panalo. Walang matatalo, ito
On behalf of the Department of Trade and Industry, we'd like to congratulate the Philippine Coconut Authority to host the 35th National Coconut Week celebration. There are vast opportunities that can be found in the country's coconut industry, and our team at the Export Marketing Bureau, as well as our Foreign Trade Service Corps, will be glad to assist you in any way. While we are confident that the Philippine coconut industry will become one of the engines of inclusive economic growth, we hope that our international guests will do business with us, especially as we build back better in a post-pandemic future for the Philippines. Thank you very much. Mabuhay po tayong lahat, and again, congratulations to PCA. Magandang araw po sa inyong lahat.
Mangamba, siguradong panalo ka. Masaganang niyugan patungo sa kaginhawaan. Niyug-niyugan, niyug-niyugan tayo para sa kinabukasan. Ang buhay ko tungo sa kaginhawaan. Niyug-niyugan, niyug-niyugan tayo para sa kinabukasan. Nasali ka na, nasa paligid lamang ang iyong hinahanap. Huwag mag-alinlangan, huwag nang mangamba. Ang puno ng buhay ay pag-asa. Magtanim ka lang ito, tiyak ikaw ang siyang panalo. Walang matatalo, ito ang sigurado. Ang puno ng buhay ang ating pag-asa. Halika na, magtanim at simula. Niyug-niyugan tayo para sa kinabukasan. Puko-puko ang buhay ko tungo sa kaginhawaan. Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao, saan ka man ay mayroon yan. Ang buko niyog ang siyang pinagkukunan ng sambayanan ng pangangailangan. Niyug-niyugan, niyug-niyugan tayo para sa kinabukasan. Puko-puko ang buhay ko tungo sa kaginhawaan. Pilipino masipag ka, Pilipino masinop ka. Simpleng bagay pagyamanin, palaguin at ibigin. Huwag matakot, mangamba, siguradong panalo ka. Masaganang niyugan patungo sa kaginhawaan. Niyug-niyugan, niyug-niyugan tayo para sa kinabukasan.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. We would like to once again welcome you back to CocoKwentuhan. We are celebrating the 35th National Coconut Week. And I do believe we have one more message to hear, no? One more story. And let's call back to one of our participating organized coconut industries. Muli balikan po natin ang istorya and success story kung paano nga ba nakakatulong ang kanilang organisasyon sa ating industriya. Let's go ahead and hear one more time from the Philippine Coconut Oil Producers Association. Panoorin po natin ito mula sa Picopa.
ako'y pangutana. So muna imong ganggangan sir no? Kanay dire so ato ipakita sa itong video ang iyang gangganan. Muna ang ginatawag na to nga direct contact nga
one pa sir, finished product na.
diretso na ni. Direct contact dryer made of bamboo stick. Nasa'y gamay nakakalot sa lalom. Sir, ang main sa imong pagsugnod sir sa man?
Kanang kwan sir, lokay.
Kaning kwan
na iluto na mo sa
so Coco leaves o coconut husk ang yahang means of kwan. So wala ka nagagamit og gas, plastic, wala.
Kahoy sir.
Kahoy lang pero wala nga plastic, wala gas.
Na pwede mo nakaluto.
So ito no. Ay sir, willing ba ka mo convert sir og mechanical dryer? Kung naihatag sa imuha ang non-government organization o ang kaning mga ginatawag na ito ang gobyerno mismo o ang private sector, willing ba ka mo convert og mechanical dryer?
Maayo naman na sir, murag dali-dali siguro no. Mas maayo na noon sir, mas dali-dali. Murag dali-dali ra na ang atong kuanana, doktor
no. So willing siya nga tenant, willing siya nga mo accept ug na magaling
tabang
na
sir, tagyag lang pwede ninyo.
Pusta sa farm kay kamo manggid po diri no, kamo po maglugit sir no. Nakita ba ninyo sir nga mas daghan ba karon sir o ang bunga nato sir ba 5 years ago sir o 5 years before ta na bagyuhan. Mas nakita mo na to nga ni usbong ang atuang lubi sir o ni gamay sa may itong mga pangasay.
Dire no sir sa patidiri kay murag bitaw bundas ang yuta dire do sa pa. Murag way sandong lubi ya no sa naman makita mo.
Mapugid bitaw.
Di paras dito sa murag sabay-sabay sa inyo.
Pero mas daghan gyud, mas daghan gyud dire.
Daghang gyapon ay pagkabay.
So nakita mo to sir 5 years gikan karon unsa nay makita mo diri sa tuwang coconut farm sir. Muusbong pa ba, mo kuan pa ba o basin sa mga picture ni mga panlantaw diri?
Mo kuan pa yun kay nagtanong na pud niglubi. Murag ipalaw man ako na mga ilalom.
So
sa lahang murag
mo kuan pa gyud ni. So nagatanong mo og lubi gyud naga-replanting mo. So diri nga farm atong mga kuan nga naga-replanting sila. Ginapulihan nila ang mga senile na mga lubi. Katong mga unproductive na nga mga lubi, yun ang ginapulihan. Karon, boss, na ko yung mga gamay pangutana sa mga bahay. Sa ako ang pang-gobyerno, lahat ko diriya sa mga non-government organization. Magsugod ko boss sa tuwang government. Familiar ba ka sa PCA-DOS? Philippine Coconut Authority, kanang ahensya sa gobyerno nga nagdumala dahil sa mga coconut farmers. Familiar ka? Na ba sila yung mga project o mga natambang diri sa atuang coconut industry diri sa inyong barangay? Susama sa abono, ana?
O abono.
Way lang ginahapon.
O abono sa lubi.
So, yung isa boss, kanang mga non-government organization boss, susama ng mga kukuling, nakaabot ba na sila dili?
Nakaabot na dili?
Nakaabot na mga non-government, nagapon sila itabang nagapon sila. So, nagdaw gyapon yung mga non-government organization nga nakaabot diri unsa nga isa sir, so mo to no, nakadawat mo no, na may project yun, abono yun, ang pinaka first priority na natin mo. Unsa po ng klase nga abono sir?
Organic po, organic acid.
Organic acid. Ang sunod ni sir, so kung i-favor sir, maabot ang panahon na naagyo na sila, wala pala nakabot diri, anay mga private agencies or private unsa man ang inyong kanang Ikinahanglan gid sir suporta gikan sa ilaha. Gikan gid sa gobyerno.
Sa amuan lang, isip farmers po. Una-una po, abono po.
Abono gid.
Abono para makatapang niya sa
Panggid sa kung sa may kinahanglan ninyo nga suporta bahin sa coconut farming na magbikan sa mga private NGO agencies kung sa gobyerno.
Ang malong tagang talig na abono. Para kami pangayan na kay sungkol kayo. Sa digo ang presyo po dapat kasi brutal kay ang labor karon medyo taas na pud yung pangayo eh. Ang presyo sa kupras baba.
Thank you so much. Yun po ang actual na presentation and story na gustong ihatid ng P. Copa. Mabuti po na nakakarinig tayo diretso po mula sa mga farmers at maniyog and it's nice na open po sila sa mga suggestions, sa mga wish list ng mga organisasyon na tumutulong po sa kanila. For now, let us go ahead and introduce our reactor to give insight and to wrap up the stories that we've heard from our organizations today. Our reactor is a kapatid mentor, ME, Shared Service Facilities, Industry Cluster Enhancement Project, Great Women Project, among others. She, in 2019 of September, was appointed as a supervising undersecretary of the DTI Regional Operations Group in charge of the 16 regional offices, 81 provincial offices, and the Bureau of Small Micro Enterprise Development. Prior to her appointment as the USEC of the Department of Trade and Industry, she was the assistant secretary of DTI Regional Operations Group in charge of the previously mentioned projects. Ladies and gentlemen, to bring us her insights and to react to our main topic for today, let's all welcome USEC Blasila A. Lantayona, Regional Operations Group, Department of Trade and Industry. Good morning po.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Leo. Una sa lahat, nais kong batiin ang ating mga nanonood at nakikinig ng isang magandang umaga at happy National Coconut Week celebration. Second, let me take this opportunity to commend the Philippine Coconut Authority under the leadership of PCA Administrator Benjamin Madrigal Jr. for bringing together the industry stakeholders to celebrate the 35th National Coconut Week. The staging of this 5-day webinar series to showcase the success stories in the coconut industry indeed inspires and gives impetus to all stakeholders of the industry to really harness the agribusiness potentials in the rural areas. We thank PCA for inviting the Department of Trade and Industry to be part of this event, particularly today when the theme is on organization-led Negosyo, Organisadong Grupo, Susi sa Matatag na Negosyo. Let me say that I am truly impressed with the success stories presented by the 3 coconut organizations that are featured today, namely the Virgin Coconut Oil Producers and Traders Association of the Philippines, the Philippine Activated Carbon Manufacturers Association Incorporated, and the Philippine Coconut Oil Producers Association Incorporated. They have proven how their respective organizations have impacted on the lives and livelihood of coconut farmers in terms of improving production processes, adoption of new technology, and in ensuring sustainable market for their products, not only for themselves, but also for the coconut farmers. We have also seen that the journey to success was not easy for each one of them. The internal and external challenges were enormous and still are continuing, but with perseverance, they were able to hurdle them one challenge at a time. The spirit of not giving up characterizes each of these organizations, and I really appreciate the underlying theme of what they are saying to the coconut farmers. They said, "We need you," and I believe the same is true also from the farmer's side. They also expressed that in order for them to pursue their advocacies, they likewise need the support of the enablers, most especially the government. In fact, meron silang wish list, which could be the starting point of an honest-to-goodness discussion with the concerned agencies upang mabigyan ng solusyon o upang ito ay maisakatuparan. As we all know, coconut is one of the country's top agricultural commodities in terms of area and volume of production. The Philippines is hailed as the second biggest producer of coconut next to Indonesia, and in 2020, the coconut, which is also known as the tree of life, accounted for a total of 3.5 million hectares of production areas in the country, the bulk of which are in Mindanao. And in terms of market, coconut is considered as top agricultural export, with coconut oil as the leading export product. It is the leading coconut product that we export, with Netherlands and USA as the biggest market, accounting for 70.5% of the exports. Exports of coconut oil represent 1.34% of the Philippines' annual export values, and the country is the second largest exporter of this commodity in the world. The country also has 20% share of a global market worth $6.59 billion each year. The coconut-based products have displayed a solid global export growth brought about by the rising global demand. The Food and Agriculture Organization said that the global demand for coconut and its derivatives is growing at more than 10% a year, outpacing production supply, which is growing at only 2%. Apart from the major Philippine traditional coconut products such as coconut oil, desiccated coconut, coconut shell charcoal, activated charcoal, and oleochemicals, there is also a growing demand of virgin coconut oil, which is currently being studied as potential COVID-19 anti-agent. And as what we have heard from VCOP, the study, which was funded by the OST, revealed that indeed virgin coconut oil is proven to be an effective adjunct supplement to ease symptoms of suspect and probable COVID-19 cases, preventing them from graduating to become severe cases. There are also non-traditional coconut products like cocoa chemicals and cocoa food and non-food products. Among the non-traditional cocoa food products exported by the Philippines are the fresh coconuts, cocoa sugar, grated cocoa meat, cocoa flour, nata de coco, coconut water, coconut milk powder, liquid coconut milk makapuno, frozen cocoa meat, coconut chips, and cocoa jam. Meanwhile, non-food products include CocoKwentuhan products, which are in demand in local market. Example, the mining sites and infrastructure projects of DPWH use geonets to control soil erosion. And of course, there is also the export market such as China. The coconut industry contributes to the overall economy as it increases the share of agriculture in the country's gross domestic product and providing employment, especially in the rural areas where incidence of poverty is high. Now, for the Department of Trade and Industry, the coconut industry is one of the 8 priority industry clusters that we have really prioritized and by the Regional Operations Group under its Industry Cluster Enhancement Program. It means that the Department of Trade and Industry and its regional and provincial offices have to assist the coconut industry using the value chain approach. Institutionally, we have designated one of our regional directors as the DTI National Industry Cluster Coordinator for the coconut industry cluster. It is responsible to consolidate the regional efforts and initiatives on the coconut industry as well as monitor and analyze its performance vis-a-vis the goals. We have also established an industry cluster enhancement project management office at the head office. With the passing of the law, the RA 11524, or the Coconut Farmers and Industry Trust Fund of 2021, DTI was designated as a member of the PCA board and as chairperson of the Coconut Enterprise Development Committee. Meantime, DTI Secretary Ramon Lopez issued a department order creating the DTI Technical Working Group on the Coconut Enterprise Development, which is chaired by the USEC of the Regional Operations Group, with the ASEC of Regional Operations Group as alternate chair, and we have the Board of Investments, the Bureau of Domestic Trade Promotion, the Bureau of Small and Medium Enterprise Development, and the Foreign Trade Service Corps and the Export Management Bureau as members. This technical working group is tasked to prepare and coordinate the implementation of the research, marketing, and promotion for the coconut and coconut byproducts component of the Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan. This will now be DTI's platform to dialogue with the industry players on how we can truly support them via our programs and projects na nakapaloob sa aming mandato na MSME development, industry development and promotion, domestic and export trade promotion, and even consumer protection. Currently, the Memorandum of Agreement between DTI and the Philippine Coconut Authority is already in its advanced stage of finalization prior to the approval of the PCA board. Moreover, with the inclusion of all the Mindanao regions plus Region 8 in the IFAD-funded project, which is called the Rural Agro-Industrial Partnership for Inclusive Development and Growth, or the Rapid Growth Project, we see great synergy in the efforts to develop the coconut industry, as it is one of the identified industries for assistance along with coffee, cacao, and processed fruits and nuts. Rapid Growth Project aims to strengthen the agribusiness sector by linking the farmers to the processors with the end objective of coming up with high value added products demanded by the market. We have pivoted to online many of our programs to be able to continue serving the MSMEs, including those in the coconut industry despite the pandemic. At this point, allow me to briefly mention some of them. First, we have the Negosyo centers. With more than 1,200 Negosyo centers established nationwide, DTI is ready to assist every Filipino in starting or scaling up their businesses. The services of the Negosyo centers include business registration, business advisory services, business information and advocacy, as well as market linkages. And last June 1, we have launched or opened our Negosyo Center online. So hindi lang po siya physical, but our clients or the MSMEs can also reach out our negosyo centers via online. So second, at the height of the pandemic or the community quarantine last April 2020, DTI consolidated online tools called the Tech Tools for MSMEs. So this is actually to help our MSMEs embrace the digital economy by allowing them to find digital solutions to cope with the challenges of COVID-19 pandemic. And this includes various tools and solutions relating to e-commerce, e-payment, digital marketing, logistics, even work from home collaboration. So this can be accessed via the dti.gov.ph website. Third, we also have launched the Payong application, which is a web and mobile-based application developed in partnership with the German Agency for Technical Cooperation, PTTC, and the Philippine Disaster and Resilience Foundation. It is aimed to advocate entrepreneurship. No, napaka-importante nitong entrepreneurship. So hindi lang tayo marunong gumawa ng produkto or magtanim ng produkto, but there should also be this kind of an entrepreneurial mindset, no? And also the business continuity planning and access to micro insurance. And fourth, we have the e-commerce office, which actually launched the Control Plus Biz Reboot Now, which is a series of free webinars that is intended to assist the MSMEs move from brick and mortar to e-commerce. So specifically, it assists the MSMEs to start businesses online through Facebook, Instagram, or through onboarding in market platforms such as Shopee, Lazada, and Zalora. Fifth, we make it easy for our MSMEs to register their business name in the business name registration next generation. So it is only 8 minutes. So for many of our would-be entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs who have not yet registered their businesses, it will be easy as just a click. And then sixth, we have also shifted most of our trade fairs online. So it is now on the digital sphere to provide easy and safe access to our local products. The One Town, One Product and the Go Local merchandise can now be accessed via online or virtual national, regional, and provincial trade fairs. And of course, we have the Kapatid Mentor Me program, Money and Market Encounter. This is the most comprehensive mentoring program that we have in the country today. We are implementing this in partnership with the Philippine Center for Entrepreneurship, Negosyo. And very recently, we ran Kapatid Mentor Me program with the farmer beneficiaries of the Rapid Growth Project. And lastly, in case you'd like to know, the Small Business Corporation, the financing arm of the Department of Trade and Industries for MSMEs, has transitioned from manual evaluation of loan applications and loan releasing to online, beginning with its no interest and no interest and no collateral loan, which is called the COVID Assistance to Restart Enterprises or CARES financing program. And because of this, it has practically increased its loan approval capacity from a few hundreds per month to more than 2,000 per month. So on that note, DTI once again expresses its continuing support to the coconut industry and will work together with the other agencies to fulfill our commitment under the Memorandum of Agreement, which we will be signing with the Philippine Coconut Authority. So thank you very much, everyone, and good morning.
Thank you po. Once more, Yusek Blasila Lantayona. Very, very insightful. I like that we integrated e-commerce, no, and the digital platforms. Yun po ang sa tingin kong malaking maitutulong ng ating mga organizations and furthermore to help our farmers and coconut workers because yeah, kanina po tinatanong no doon sa I think presentation ng Picopa na willing ka bang mag-convert with their machinery, pero same question should be asked, willing ka rin bang mag-convert into digital platforms kasi po that's more avenues for development and progress. I do believe we are about to open up our Q&A. We're about to go into our discussion, but before that, I would like to remind everyone of our mechanics and house rules. No? Kung meron po tayong mga katanungan, paano nyo po ba ipepresenta? So first up, a quick recap. No? Nagkaroon po tayo ng keynote speaker earlier this morning. We also had presenters. They gave all of their own stories and the updates as to how they are helping as organizations in the coconut industry. And then yun po, kakabigay lang po ng reaction ng ating minamahal na USEC, Blesila Lantayona. And now we open up our Q&A session. The Q&A session will be done through Zoom. Live din po tayo via YouTube and Facebook. Ang gagawin po natin ay magkakaroon po tayo ng moderator and rapporteurs, and you can send your questions mainly via 3 ways. One is via chat na aakyat po ng ating mga rapporteurs. Another is through Q&A. No? Pwede nyo pong ilagay dyan ang email ninyo if you'd like to also be anonymous, pwede rin po. And sometimes, if your question is multifaceted or marami po siyang aspeto na gusto nyo pong kayo na mismo ang magtanong, pwede rin naman po yan. We can bring you up. And how that works po is please keep your microphones off hanggang may nagsasalita pong ibang tao. And once it's your turn to speak, make sure lang po na clear ang inyong background, no, para po malinaw at mapakinggan po ng mga taong ina-address ninyo para masagot ng maayos. And of course, if it would help and it's possible, paki-on po ang ating camera para po engaging ang ating discussion. I believe it's time for us to introduce our moderator for the day. And for that, I would like to ask for us to all welcome and give a warm hello to our department manager at PCA TMDD. Magandang umaga po, and let's all welcome Ms. Rosella B. Villaruel.
Hello, good morning everyone. Narito na po tayo ngayon sa ating portion, pinaka-aabangan, our question and answer portion. But before that, we would like to hear some insights from our duty administrator, Sir Benjamin Madrigal Jr.
Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat. Sa lahat, we'd like to thank all our presenters and our speakers para po sa umaga na ito, no? Fourth day ng ating webinar series. Una sa lahat, kay Undersecretary Mercy Sombilla ng National Economic Development Authority, who gave us a very insightful message po, no, identifying the challenges in the industry especially. Then nakita po natin yung mga presentations ng ating ng ating mga napiling mga organizations. No, ito po yung mga those that deal with the same products, organizing themselves to come up with holistic approaches, no, to be able to further or strengthen their organization and of course protect yung and move forward all together para sa pag-improve ng kanilang produkto. And isa-isahin po natin yan later, no. Of course, we'd like to thank our very good friend, DTI Undersecretary Bless Lantayona. Ma'am, maraming po salamat. I have been texting her earlier, telling her that this past celebration ng Coco Week has been a success because of the very big help of the Department of Trade and Industry. No, starting off with our virtual trade fair. No, na mas maganda pala ma'am, kasi kung physical, kung sino lang yun nandito. Sa virtual trade fair natin, ang visitors natin came from 35 countries. no, and we yung ating business to business matching, no, na ano tayo ng new markets, no, and new products na na-identify natin na in demand. Also with the help of our trade commissioners and our agriculture attachés, no, na na-imbita rin natin, of course our local buyers, and of course yung investment forum. But ang nakita natin sa message ni Yusek Lantayona earlier was how DTI is consolidating its effort to be able to help the coconut industry, creating the technical working group, no, para nakapokus yung lahat ng mga nakitang mga bureaus ng DTI to really help out the industry. Nakita rin natin yung effort to make yung ease of doing business, no, nakita natin yung ng e-commerce, and of course the exploring the digital platform, sabi nga ni Leo, no, and of course yung effort to really help out our entrepreneurs. Now, dito po sa mga presenters natin, in the past few days, binanggit ko na makita natin na yung 7 thematic recommendations ng ating Coconut Farmers and Industry Roadmap are well, yung sabi nga, well illustrated in the efforts and in the recommendations of the different presenters. And this time around, ako ang nakita ko 4 out of the 7, no, thematic recommendations, yung of course, strengthening our coconut farmer organizations na naka-highlight, improving the competitiveness of our products in the local and the global market. No? Ito yung effort, bakit kaya tayo nagbubuklod-buklod ay para maging mas competitive yung ating produkto. Sabi nga katulad ng sa BCO, improving yung product standard, process standard, yung pag ginagawa nila na merong yung hazard assessment effort to yung for HACCP-based food safety standard, and of course good manufacturing and good agricultural practices na being encouraged. And of course ito nga yung enhancing trade and marketing, and of course strengthening institutional support services. Like the need for government support, the need for industry and private sector support, as well as policy policy support natin. And ang nakikita natin pinaka-tema talaga po ngayon is holistic action, cooperation, common vision and common mindset, mutual support and mutual benefit. And ang pinakahuli nakita nga, and that all these are critical to our business. No, so we really appreciate the presentations that and that we really have to do to gather all our players and all our efforts together to be able to achieve our goal of a prosperous industry, and of course to lift our farmers from poverty. Sa inyo pong lahat, marami pong salamat for your participation this morning.
Thank you, dear Administrator. So now we can proceed with our question and answer. But before that, may we call on our presenters. First, from the BCOP, si Mr. Marco Reyes and Ms. Agnes Cristobal. And from PACMA, maybe Sir Sid Ang and Mr. Bonifacio Fernandez. And from PICOPA, Mr. Jesse Cheng. And we also have here our reactor, Ma'am Bless Lantayona. Okay, here we go. So we have here one participant who would like to shoot his first question. May I call on Mr. Raul Aguilar? Is Mr. Raul Aguilar here? He's raising his hand. Take it away. Wala? Ah, okay. So we have here another person raising his hand, Mr. Nake. Nake Vicente.
Hello po, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Good morning, sir.
Malinaw ba? Marami po talaga po akong natutunan ng programa ng gobyerno. Mula sa una na webinar, pinagdugtong-dugtong ko ito, pinagtagpi ko ito ng kaalaman para i-implementa sa aming sarili. Ngayon, nabanggit din nung una na ang kinikita ng isang ordinaryo na magsasaka sa pamamagitan ng simula sa Coco sugar, kumikita ng 22 to 25,000 a month. Samantala, kung kupra lang ang hanap buhay o yung ordinaryong farmers ng pinagkakakitaan is kupra at saka palayan, 3 months pa bago kikitain yon at malaki pang expenses. Dahil doon sa sistemang sinauna na hanggang ngayon, yun pa rin ang aming ginagawa dahil kulang talaga kami sa suporta. Paano simulan? Walang nag-guide. Kaya isa po ito na pinaparating ko na gusto rin namin mag-venture in business. Pero paano po magsimula? Kasi ang alam lang namin makinarya namin, kalabaw. Ang alam naming mga makinarya sa tawag nito, pag ano ng niyog, yun, sinauna pa rin ang sistema. Kaya walang nabago. Kung ganun po ang programa ng isang ng gobyerno, nais po namin maging bahagi. Dahil 15 hectares po yung iniwan ng aming mga magulang, ng aming magulang, at 2 kaming magkapatid na maghahati noon. Kaya yung kinikita noon, kasi kung hindi ako nagkakamali, mga 14 hectares noon ay ano siya talaga, puno yan siya ng niyogan. Pero yung kinikita noon po, kunti lang po. Kaya gusto namin sa part ng Surigao del Sur, wala rin talagang makikita namin na magkaroon ng halimbawa, BCO. Wala pong nag-ano doon. Halimbawa, itong sapal o yung waste ng pinagpigaan ng BCO. Wala rin po nagagawa doon. Kaya ang dami po nasasayang na pera o pagkakakitaan sana ang farmers kung mayroon doon. Ang tangi lang po doon nagagamit, yung bao. Pero ang mga bunot, ang laki palang pakinabang sa kalikasan natin, tinatapon lang din. Okay. Yung po ang hinaing ko po, na sana paano kami makapagsimula at matulungan ng programa ng gobyerno. Salamat po.
Okay po, thank you so much, sir. Feel ni sir yung pangangailangan talaga ng coconut farmer ng isang magandang livelihood from the coconut. So may we call on our presenter from the BCO group.
Kamusta? Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. Salamat po dun sa naunang katanungan. Po, we fully understand po yung inyong sitwasyon. 15 hectares, 14 hectares, malaki na yun. So, yan namang mga gusto natin, mga kailangan po ng mga magsasaka para tumaas yung kanilang kinikita. Lahat yan ay nakaakibat ng ating programa, yung industry roadmap na nabalangkas na. So marami pong aspeto yan eh. At isa lang dyan yung pagnenegosyo. Malaki pa rin yung sa aspeto nung mismong sa inyong sakahan na yung sa farming itself na para lumaki yung kita, katulad ng mga papaano tumaas yung yield, fertilization, replanting, at kung magawa natin na organic certified yung farm natin, tataasin yung presyo ng ating mga nyog, kung makapagbenta tayo ng mga whole nuts, kung mas dumami yung napuproduce sa mga nyog, tataasin yung kita. So yun po yung sa farming side, na marami pang mga paraan para tumaas yung kinikita. Doon sa pagnenegosyo, yun nga, so sa isang banda ay malaki yung kinikita ng iba, although ang coconut sugar naman maliit lang na aspeto ng buong industriya. Pero sa isang banda rin ay kailangan din, andyan din yung posibilidad na madugi kayo, mabankrupt, mawala yung pag nag-collateral ay mawala yung ating mga investment. So bago tayo magpunta dyan, kailangan muna talagang pag-aralan ng gusto. So dyan po pumapasok yung ating Department of Trade and Industry. Marami silang mga lectures, mga training sessions. Pati sa Philippine Coconut Authority ay marami mga manual, papaanong magnegosyo, e-commerce. So yun lang po yung pag-aralan muna natin mabuti, at sa sistema naman natin sa gobyerno, sa DTI, sa PCA ay andyan na yung mga kailangan nating pag-aralan para bago tayo magnegosyo o pati dun sa ating farming para tumaas yung ating kita ay malalaman natin. Yan lang po.
Thank you so much, Sir Marco. And our administrator would like to have some advice.
Kay Mr. Nangke, no, I understand kasama talaga po si Mr. Nangke has been very active for the past few days, have been participating, no. Alam po natin kayo po ay taga Surigao, no. Kung makita natin yung kahapon na presentation, no, yung pong Amparitas, kay Mr. Barbosa is located diyan po sa Hinatuan, no, and doon po nagko-conduct sila ng training, no, kasi ang una yung binabanggit ni Mr. Reyes, sabi nga kung hindi niyo pa alam, kaya nga inaano natin yung private sector and farmer partnership. Sila po nagko-conduct ng training, pwede rin silang bumibili ng inyong mga kalakal. Pero yun nga, ang isa ay madagdagan ng magkaroon ng tamang kaalaman kung paano ang gagawin. Pangalawa is organizing, no? Kasi sabi nga, although malaki nga yung inyong sinasaka, no? Kasi kalimitan ng ating mga magsasaka ay kalahati hanggang isa't kalahati o 2 hektarya lamang ang pag-aari. Pero mas maganda ho kasi, no? Of course, kung gusto magnenegosyo, unless ang gusto niyo ay yung sole proprietorship. Pero ito kung mas maganda kung kulang kayo ng tao o kulang ng kaalaman ay makibuklod doon sa ibang mga organisado na, o kaya ay kung magbubuo kayo ng inyong sariling organization. At pangatlo, ang sinasabi ko nga na sana mabuo po yung inyong sa Surigao, yung Coconut Farmers Council, na may direktiba naman po ito ng DILG, no, na para nagkakausap-usap ang ating kung habang wala po yun, meron po tayong provincial and regional coconut stakeholders forum na magkakasama po doon, hindi lamang ang processors, hindi lamang ang mga magsasaka, nandun din yung mga ahensya, no, na para na pagdudugtong-dugtong, na ito nga po yung intent natin, no, mapagdugtong-dugtong, mapagsama-sama yung ating mga kakayanan at nang sa gayon, sabi nga yung mga kahinaan ng iba ay masamahan ng yung lakas naman ng ibang mga agencies and other partners dito sa industry. Salamat po, yun lamang po.
Thank you, sir. So dito naman tayo sa nagbigay ng tanong sa Q&A. From EJ Dakanay, nagtatanong siya dito, is it possible to grow coconut in Purak, Pampanga?
Of course, ang isa pong magandang tingnan natin, tingnan po muna na kung saan po yung lugar ninyo. Meron po tayong yung regional office dito for Northern Luzon. You can get in touch with our regional office. Actually, kung pwede kayo mag-chat ngayon, our regional director is nandito po, kung may bigay ninyo ang inyong contact person. We can have a person go to you to assess kung saan po. Naturally, itong ating titingnan natin po yung lugar na inyong binabanggit kung saan sa Porac, no? At para malaman kung anong variety rin, at saka malaman ano po ba ang plano ninyo. Kasi sabi nga kung anong industriya ang gusto ninyong pasukin, meron pong angkop na variety ng nyog na nararapat. At dito po sa Pampanga, actually we have ang alam ko po kay Dennis, kay Regional Manager Dennis Andres, we have we are crafting or we have finished crafting yung MOA with the State College diyan sa Pampanga para po mag-establish tayo ng seed farm, no, diyan sa inyo para yung pong kakailanganin na mga pananim lalong-lalo na sa probinsya ng Pampanga ay ipoproduce na natin diyan mismo sa inyong lugar, no.
Okay, so next question from Mr. Rosano Veluz to everyone. Is the Coco core pit processing available in YouTube? Siguro sagutin ko na ito. I've asked the representative from Zamboanga Research Center and they said available po ito. Then we go to the next question from Maria Santelices. How to avail of info materials pertaining to various processing machineries. Siguro po lumapit kayo sa ating tanggapan ng Philippine Coconut Authority, nearest you, or sumulat po kayo sa Philippine Coconut Authority through our website. The email address will be flashed later. Next question is from Maria Santelices again. Where can we avail of the HACCP accepted cocoa oil processing manual?
COP.
Any representative from RDB?
Sa BCOP din po, ito ay project together with with DOST, no, DOST.
Yeah, okay.
We can ask them to to respond.
Sir Marco, can you comment on this? Saan po daw makakuha nung HACCP accepted coconut oil processing manual?
Pwede po silang mag-email sa amin, info@bcophilippines.com. Sa ngayon ay pinamimigay namin silang libre sa mga miyembro ng BCOP. Yung sa kanila po, sabihin lang nila yung nature ng company nila at papag-aralan po namin and then babalikan namin sila.
Ito din po, nidagdag ko sa sinabi ni Marco. During our engagement before, ang sinasabi ko nga kay Mr. Reyes noon, ang dami ko nang nakikita sa social media na nagbebenta ng BCO. Ngayon, hindi na natin alam, BCO ba talaga yon o hindi? No, dahil sabi nga baka mamaya walang FDA approval, and when we were talking pati kay Ma'am Agnes, sabi ko ilan po ba ang miyembro ng BCOP kasi dito sa amin it appears hindi rin lahat nakarehistro dito sa amin, no, and of course andito naman po ang ating DTI, how many have asked yung business permit for itong virgin coconut oil production. Sabi ko nga, lahat po ba ng BCO producers ay miyembro ng BCOP? Ito, mamaya eventually, natin yung kay Mr. Reyes. Dahil sabi ko, we have to really protect our product. Dahil ang iniiwasan po natin ay yung mga ibang, ibang mga sabi nga, pag gusto ng ating mga kababayan na kumita, baka huwag naman sana tayo matulad sa ibang mga pangyayari in the past na mismo ang nakasira sa ating industriya, yung ibang nag-adulterate ng ating produkto. Kung kaya't we really appreciate the effort of BCOP nagko-conduct po sila para sa inyong kaalaman, nagko-conduct sila ng training. No, nakadalawang batch na tayo, no, 2 batches ng training ng good manufacturing practice at dito inaano rin natin yung may ipinush din ng BCOP together with Dr. Dairit yung pagbabago ng national standards ng BCO kasi yung unang standard natin medyo hindi pa rin ganoon kaklaro. No, kailangan ma-identify. Ang sabi nga, anong tinatanong ko kay Dr. Dairit, ano ba sir ang mga critical elements ng PNS o ng Philippine National Standard? Sabi niya 2. Kasi yung quality, pwedeng magbago-bago yun. Ano? Sabi niya, pero yung una is yung identity of the product. How do you really make sure that your product is pure BCO? Wala siyang halo. No? So dito makikita mismo yung chemical chemical components niya at yung so yun yung identity sabi niya. Ang pangalawang element ng PNS ay yung sabi nga yung masiguro na wala siyang contaminants. No, yung safety. So yung una is identity at ang second is safety. Siguraduhin na wala siyang heavy metals, wala siyang mga toxic chemical na nakapaloob na maaring makasira sa ating produkto. So, yun po no, effort ng ng private sector at together with our government agencies, with FDA and of course with our agency. We are working together to really be able to come up with better PNS standard para maprotektahan natin yung ating produkto. Plus other efforts nga na ginagawa ng BCOP. And I have been asking the other kung alam po ninyo, we have 42 at the moment, no? Kay andito si Ma'am Bless. We are exporting at the minimum 42 coconut-based products sa ngayon. Pero marami pang lumalabas. Ano po, sabi nga yung product development natin patuloy. Kaya po mas complicated ang roadmap ng coconut. Kasi yung rice, pagkatapos mong gilingin, bigas na siya. No, ibebenta mo na. Ang coconut, napakarami. And sana lahat po ng produkto, may organisasyon. Lahat ng produkto, may roadmap. No, na halimbawa, sabi nga natin sa BCO, ano ba ang nakikita ng BCO na how far can you go as far as the health market is concerned? Yung lambanog, sabi ko nga, mananatili ba tayong 4 months drink? O dahil samantalang meron ng ibang mga lambanog na sabi nga, ang presyo, kasing presyo ng mamahaling alak. Sana maging heritage drink na ito. No, na katulad sa Japan, sabi nga ang mahal bumili noong kanilang sake, hindi ka nga pwedeng bumili ng more than 1 bottle, no? Tapos sa Korea, sabi nga yung promotion ng Korea, lahat ng Korean novela pinopromote yung soju. Eh bakit dito sa atin pag nag-toast tayo during ceremonies, red wine? Bakit hindi lambanog, no? Plus other products natin, no? Sabi nga katulad ng coconut oil, titingnan natin, of course, with the help of TTI and other agencies, how do we protect our product from the influx of yung palm oil, no? Na sabi mas mura kaya, sabi nga nung tinatanong ako, ang common kalaban ng hindi natin po kalaban ang coconut oil na local. Ang palm oil na local. Ang kalaban po natin is yung palm oil na imported na pumapasok dito na mas mura pa. No, doon po na even our local palm oil cannot compete with the price nung pumapasok dahil yung pala merong parang sabi may misdeclaration, nilalagay animal feed pero yung pala gagamitin for processing. So ito po inaayos natin yung ibang mga players natin o ibang mga stakeholders to really be able to protect our product, no? So ito po sana we can give probably kay sa ating moderator, we can give Mr. Jesse Cheng and of course Ma'am Agnes or to give us some other inputs. Baka may gusto silang sabihin. No, aside from, of course, habang yung mga questions pa na pinabasa natin.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So, andito si Ma'am Agnes. Do you have additional inputs, ma'am, regarding?
Yes. Yes. Good morning. Good morning, Sir Administrator Madrigal. Thank you for hosting this for us. Number one, our organization, we have 30 members, and we encourage the other VCO producers and traders to join us because an industry-wide conversation with government agencies is vital to address challenges, and not only challenges, even the good news of VCO versus COVID, so that we can inform more people about it. However, as you mentioned, and as your marketing department has informed us, that there are many traders or vendors, especially online, of unregistered brands and producers. And together, let us work on this together with PCA, DOST, FDA. There's a lot of work to be done, I agree, pero kaya naman nating gawin to all together. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Ma'am Agnes. Now, tatanungin din natin si Sir Jess from Picopa. But before that, Sir Jess, babasahin ko itong isang tanong na naka-address din sa'yo from Cresilito Martin Salvador. Mr. Cheng, we are coconut farmers from Lopez, Quezon. Saan po kami makaka-avail ng coconut seedlings ng Picopa? Magkano po ang seedling nyo? Ano pong variety? Go ahead, sir.
Thank you, Ma'am Rose. Magandang umaga ho sa kanilang lahat. Copy ho ba ako, Ma'am Rose?
Yes, malakas.
Maraming salamat ho, General Admin. Napakaganda ho at tayo nagkita muli from last year's Coco webinar. Yung tanong ho tungkol dito sa sa seedlings, pwede ko kayong ma-refer sa aming in charge sa sustainability. At ang PCA ho, maraming programa rin. Tayo ho kasi ay base sa Mindanao. Wala ho tayo sa Luzon. Kaya yung mga katanungan ho natin, pwede natin ipasa ho sa aming sustainability in charge or sa PCA po. Kasi may regional offices rin ho yung PCA. Yung may ano lang ho, may i-share lang ho tayo tungkol dito sa tema natin na pag-uusap today na Organisadong Grupo. Susi ho ito sa Matatag na Negosyo. Ito ay napakatamang tema na talagang strongly promoted by the PCA, led by our General Admin, and lahat ho ng mga PCA personnel from DA Ruel, from DA Erlin, Ma'am Erlin, Sir Ruel, tsaka ho sila Ma'am Rose, si Ma'am Bem, at si Ma'am Noemi. Lahat ho sila ay talagang naghihikayat ho na magbuklod-buklod ho tayo at paulit-ulit na ho sinasabi para ho ito kasi ho at susi talaga sa pagpapatatag ng negosyo. Kasi yun ho parang ang direksyon ng ating farming sector. Actually ho, parang tulad ho ng 5 daliri. Yung kamay natin, nakakonekta ho tayo sa 5 daliri. Yung coconut industry ho, ay may 5 sektor din ho. Yung unang sektor, importante ho dito, is yung national government. Yung national government, led by the related agencies ho, parang policy maker sector sila. Tulad ho nung pagpasa nila sa coconut levy, napakalaking tulong ho ito. At sana ho ito ay ma-carried out. It will come to fruition that will benefit all the farming sectors. Yung pangalawang sector ho, tulad ho, yung PCA ho, our implementing sector. Tayo ho ay na-engganyo ho tayo at we are very happy with the PCA now kasi they're more engaging, they're more understanding, and also they're really a solution finding group sa ngayon. Led by our admin nga, si General. Saludo ho kami sa inyo at nakikita ho natin yung sincere dedication ho ninyo, yung enthusiasm ninyo at hard work ho na ginagawa ninyo para sa industriya, para sa lahat ng stakeholders. Yun lang nga ho, hindi ho lahat nasa control natin, which naintindihan ng lahat ng tao. Yung iba ho, kailangan yung pag-usapan with other government agencies, with other stakeholders. So hindi ho talaga madali yun. Panahon ang kailangan. Naintindihan ho natin yun. Yung pangatlong sektor ho, tulad ng 5 daliri natin, yung farming sector. Sila ho talaga ay napaka-importante sa buong the holistic, sabi nga ho ni General, holistic approach tayo. Sila ho talaga ang key nito. So kailangan ho natin sila talagang alagahin at tulungan, which talagang ginagawa na ngayon. Yun lang, it may take some time or ang pinakamagandang approach ho talaga is pagbubuklod-buklod, yung pagiging organisado. Tulad ho kami, Picopa, tulad ho ng VCO, lahat ho may asosasyon ho yan. Nagbubuklod-buklan, nag-uusap, nagtutulungan, naghahanap ng mga pwedeng mga solusyon at kung paano natin ito i-implement at i-execute. So napakagandang maingganyo sana lahat ng ating farming sector. Foremost of which yung laging kausap natin si Sir Joey, si Sir Omi at lahat ng mga leaders ng mga cooperative, sana ma-encourage natin yung ibang farming sector members, mga farmers, especially mga manununog, na magsama-sama ho tayo. Kasi lagi nga sinasabi na there's strength in unity. Yun ho yung pangatlong sector. Pang-apat na sektor na napaka-importante rin ho, tulad ho sila Dr. Emil Javier, si Dr. Fabian Derit na nabanggit ho ninyo, yung academe sector. Sila ho yung sa research and development natin. Makikita ho natin na talagang tulad ni Dr. Javier, talagang nag-iisip po siya outside of the box. Saka very innovative siya when it comes to the welfare and the livelihood of our mga coconut farmers. Dr. Derit naman is very helpful in promoting our product, the benefits of it, and also yung mga new applications. So yan ho pang-apat na sektor. Yung pang-5 sektor ho ay yung processing sector na currently we are led by Mr. Dean Lau Jr. Siya ho talaga ay tirelessly and very energetically promoting yung CSR, yung advocacies natin on environment, and also yung welfare and yung well-being of our coconut farmers. Kasi yan nga ho ang key sa sustainability natin. So kung magsama-sama ho natin sila, kasi may kanya-kanyang role ho sila, may kanya-kanyang gamit sila, usefulness, at may kanya-kanyang strength sila. Pag sinama ho itong 5, tulad ho ng ating kamay, meron tayong nagagawa kung yung 5 daliri natin ay pinagsama-sama natin. So yun ho ang napag-usapan natin sa grupo namin at sana ho kung unti-unting magawa to, sigurado hong may bright future at meron ho tayong patutuan. Yun nga, sabi nga nila, yung isa pa, may kasibihan na kung ang taong marunong lumingon sa pinanggalingan, may mararating, mararating ang paroroonan. So tulad niyan, halimbawa yung presyo natin itong past 1 year, maganda ho yung presyo ng kopra. Mataas siya, magandang ani, magandang presyo. Pero please, we have to look at also the causes of what had happened in 2018, 17, 18, and 19 nung mababa yung presyo. Kung sana ho ay maintindihan natin at malaman natin yung kausa nito at sana hindi na ito maulit. Kasi may risk ho na pwedeng mangyari yan next year or the succeeding years. So kung sana ma-address ho natin ito, malaking tulong ho ito sa ating mga manninyog. Ayun lang po, Ma'am Rose. Maraming salamat muli sa invitasyon at sa opportunity na mag-share.
Okay, thank
Salamat.
you, Jess. Tama po yan. No man is an island. Kailangan po magtulungan. And Tatak Pilipino po yung bayanihan system.
Magdagdag lang ako, Rose, no? Yung tanong kasi kanina tungkol sa sa pananim, no? Sabi ko nga, ito we are sa PCA hindi po kami nagbebenta ng pananim. Ito po ay binibigay natin pero tinitingnan nga natin kung pinapa-assess natin kung saan itatanim, para mabigyan ng tamang But meron ding ibang mga katulad nung isang may mga ibang kumpanya na nag-ano sa amin na pwede ba kami rin bibili sa inyo ng ng paano, sabi ko hindi ko namin binibente. Binibigay namin. What we can do is for the company to partner with coconut farmer organizations. Yung coconut farmer organizations po ang aming tutulungan na pwede na sila naman ang mag-provide sa inyo ng magiging kita o magiging produkto nitong mga farmers organizations na ito. Para nang sa gayon, pareho nating natulungan yung ating mga magsasaka. So isa pong siguro doon sa nagtanong na sa Lopez Quezon, please get in touch with our yung kung maibigay niyo yung numero diyan, patawagan namin kayo sa aming provincial at regional managers upang kayo ay matulungan sa inyong pangangailangan. Salamat po.
Yeah, thank you, sir. So let us now proceed with Pakma. Before that, sir, I will read the question for you. We are coconut farmers from Lopez, Quezon. Saan po ba located ang Coco Charcoal Buying Station nyo? Magkano po ang buying price? Ano po ang antas at kalidad ng Coco Charcoal na kailangan ninyo?
Okay, good morning po sa lahat, lalo na kay Administrator Madrigal. And thank you, Ma'am Rose. So we are PACMA. Most of the activated carbon manufacturers in the Philippines are located po dito sa Mindanao. Nasa Davao po halos lahat kami. And then meron po tayong mga activated carbon manufacturer din po sa Luzon. Nandyan po yung member natin na kasama natin si Mapicon. They are based in Laguna. So pwede nyo po silang hanapin, si Mapicon. Ang price po ng charcoal is, mabilis po gumalaw yung pricing ng charcoal. Kasi po dictated po siya rin ng world market. And as alam po natin sa mga nakaraang mga araw, alam natin na ibang countries po yun nagdidikta masyado ng price ng charcoal. Especially po ang activated carbon is 98 to 99% po yung market niya is export. So nandyan po yung mga kalaban natin, especially like India. May demand din naman domestically pero talagang nasa export po yung majority ng market natin. So tutuloy-tuloy ko na po ito. So PACMA is composed of 9-member organization. Maliit lang po kami kasi maliit po, konti lang naman talaga ang gumagawa ng activated carbon. We are the lesser known industry po sa coconut industry. However, yung product po natin is very important po sa iba't ibang mga manufacturing agencies. I mean manufacturing products. Like we also play a role in decolorization of oil, hindi lang sa coconut oil but different kinds of oil and water treatment. Air purification, lalo na ngayon sa COVID, a lot of hospitals are improving their air treatment system. So may mga application po tayo dyan. So very important po ang role ng charcoal na raw material for activated carbon. So we hope in PACMA that the farmers really convert their shells into charcoal. Alam po natin na medyo mahirap lang po ang tulad nung nagtanong, malayo po kasi yung ibang area. The problem with charcoal is transport. Yung transport talaga, logistics yung issues namin. From the raw material and also for the export. Ngayon, we are working with together with PCA and VTI and many agencies, many government agencies in helping the activated carbon industry. Nandyan po si Ma'am Rose na tumutulong talaga sa amin sa paggawa ng solution kasi we have issues po. PACMA has issues with the shipment because of misdeclaration po of our product. So yung charcoal, may mga charcoal exports kasi that are being declared as activated carbon. Yung charcoal kasi umaapoy. Pero yung activated carbon, it's very safe to transport. However, that issue is really very clearly felt by our industry. It's because many people or many shipping industries do not understand what's the difference between charcoal and activated carbon. Sa tingin nila kasi pareho lang itim. So akala nila pa kasi itim, charcoal and activated carbon is the same, but they are different. The process of activation removes the volatiles that can cause a spontaneous combustion. So magkakaiba na po sila in their properties. So yun lang po, and I wish also that other activated carbon manufacturing companies in the Philippines join the PACMA. Said by Sir Jesse that in strength po there is and in union there is strength, no? Pagka magkasama-sama po ang lahat, talagang may power po tayong lahat, and then talagang magbibigay po ng magkikinig po ang iba't ibang ahensya at iba-ibang industry kung magkakasama tayong lahat. Thank you po, Ma'am Rose. Thank you, Admin.
Magtanong ako kay sa PACMA, no? Sabi ko, sa ngayon, ang activated carbon, even with only 9 members and mostly in Mindanao, ay halos pumapasok sa top 10 export natin, no? Hindi lang siya nandun yata. Ang alam ko ay yung kasi alam ko nasa 3 of the top 10 are crude coconut oil, of course, sa ating refined coconut oil, desiccated coconut, kasama na rin siguro yung copra cake, no? Pero yung activated carbon nandun din sumusunod, no? Ang nawala sa top 10 yung ating choir, no, yung sa bunot. Pero with yung dahil siyam yung miyembro, mostly in Mindanao, pero just the same na almost pumapasok tayo sa top 10 agricultural export. Ano kaya ang magandang gawin to be able to encourage, especially Luzon and Visayas, para lalo nating mapalakas ito, lalo nating to encourage, aside from, of course, nandito ang MAPICON, but of course, there is always room for, yung idagdagan yung, dahil sa ngayon, nakikita natin even the export na briefing noong China, noong kami nagkaroon ng, ng business to business matching. Sa briefing ng ating attaché doon, agriculture attaché, trade commissioner sa China, meron kang they have been ng charcoal mismo ang ine-export instead of activated carbon. So, palagay mo, ano kaya ang maganda nating gawin, no, to further encourage yung ma-strengthen itong ating activated carbon industry?
Yes, sir, Admin. Alam po natin na nasa Mindanao po yung majority nga. In Luzon po kasi, the issue is a lot of industries are using the shell for fuel. So marami pong nako-convert po into other, yung shell instead na nagiging charcoal. So wala pong masyadong raw material na available po sa Luzon because it becomes a fuel for other industries. So I think there is already a move together with PACMA po and then PCA na dahan-dahan po nating i-convert po yung shell into charcoal rather than using it for fuel. That would greatly help po the industry and when raw material is available po.
Bless, no? Yung nga siguro, ma'am, maganda na mapag-usapan itong tungkol dun sa Anton na kasi talagang mahal at saka in demand yung activated carbon. And we know na kung napakarami ng coconut sa Luzon, no? Kasi the biggest area, ma'am, sa mga yon ay nandito sa Calabarzon. No, ang pinakamalaki. Dati pinakamarami nga sa Bicol, but because of the yung sa ating dumaan ng mga bagyo plus yung Cocolisap, medyo na ang pinakamalaking production natin ngayon o yield ay nandiyan sa Davao. No, kaya siguro yung nandiyan sa Davao because and Zamboanga, probably because hindi tinatamaan ng bagyo, hindi tinatamaan ng Cocolisap. No, but ito nga kung nasaan yung mga malalaking natin areas o coconut areas, definitely meron tayong mga baon na magagamit dito sa ano. So yun ma'am, siguro kung paano ma-explore kasi pumapaka even with only 9 members tapos nasa Mindanao lahat, but still mataas ang kanyang mga contribution sa agriculture export.
Yeah, I think the move of the industry, even if there are just 9 members, no, the move of the industry to really campaign in terms of information, we really need to support this one. No, we really need to support this one because when I saw nga the video, ang sinabi nga doon ng chairman is wag niyong sunugin, no, ang inyong mga, di ba, yun, we need your raw materials. And I was really touched, no, and especially now that ang reason pala is baka hindi nila alam at hindi nila na-appreciate. So I think there is now a room for us to really do some kind of an information dissemination and directing them towards why is it important. And of course, they will appreciate that if they see na uy, nabibili pa pala to. Nabibili ito and at a price that really can increase my income. So there is that gap na kailangan siguro nating kailangan nating i-fill in yung gap na yon. Kasi as far as our market destination, I think alam naman siguro yan ng industry kasi kayong nagkikipag-deal dito. The biggest talaga is Japan and then followed by the USA and then the rest meron din tayong napakalaking potential talaga. But when it comes to nasa bottom tayo because we lack the volume. We lack the volume. So admin, siguro that is something that we really can help the industry campaign, and we should have the figures, no? Ano ba ang diferensya kung sunugin ko lang to or whatever versus the additional income that we will be getting.
Yes, ma'am. Sana nga po ito pagtulungan natin. Siguro maayos yung sabi nga road mapping, no? Kailangan talaga yung ano ba nakikita natin way ahead ng ating activated carbon industry. At ano ba yung nakikita nating capacity, no, na dapat nating mapagtulungan para nang sa gayon meron tayong kasi kami ma'am sa military kasi now we identify yung target tapos paghati-hatian natin paano natin pupunuan at masiguro natin na we will all contribute to the accomplishment of that target. So siguro gano'n, no, kung we will be able to identify yung yung pinaka pa natin, no, what else, how else can we move forward, makita natin yon, then pagtutulong-tulungan. So siguro ma'am, katulad ng ginagawa natin sa ibang industriya, pagtulungan yung road mapping nitong ating ibang
activated carbon,
industries.
Okay, thank you. Meron tayong black gold at yan yung ating charcoal and activated carbon. Now we want to hear the question of Sir Creselito Martin Salvador, who is raising his hand. Sir, you are recognized.
Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat. Maraming salamat po sa pagkakataon na makasali po kami, mga coconut farmers, sa CocoKwentuhan po ninyo. Nais ko po sanang ipaabot sa mga liderato ng ating ahensya ng gobyerno yung lubos po naming pasasalamat sa inyong suporta. Ang tanong ko lang po sana, kahapon po na hindi pa po yata natutugunan, ay tungkol po doon sa registration po ng coconut farmers under the National Coconut Farmer Registration System. Ito po ay nasa ilalim ng batas ng Coconut Levy Law. Kasi po hanggang sa ngayon po, hindi po namin alam yung status po ng registration po namin.
Ito po yung natin, no? Sa ngayon po, nung remember nung ang ating pong unang basihan ng registration, yung pong existing, yung existing registry natin na sa mga sa mga 2.5 million. Ang unang tanong po ng mga magsasaka, yan ba ay yung bang isa sa isang tabi na ba yung registry na yon? Hindi po, no? Yun po yung pinakabasihan natin. No, but kailangan po nating mag-update ng registry dahil sabi nga baka mamaya meron ng hindi naman sana may namayapa, merong nagbenta na ng lupa o umalis na sa ating sa kanilang lugar at sa katunayan during our dito sa initial months ng natin ng registration ay may nakita tayo na sa mga 60,000 na undergoing yung exclusion process kasi may process of inclusion, may process of exclusion. Now, ang sabi po ng batas ay dapat within 90 days matapos yung registration after the yung effectivity of the law which was supposedly last June 11, yung 90 days. No, so on June 10 nagkaroon po ng Senate hearing ng ating Senado, no? Ang sabi po nung time po na yon, nasa mga 51% pa lamang yung aming na-accomplish that time. No, ang sabi ko nga po, not only the movement of the PCA personnel but movement of our farmers was also affected by by the lockdowns. And yung 51% plus meron pa tayo noong time na yon, mga 300,000 na new registrants. Sino ba ito? Ito po yung hindi mga bagong magsasaka, kundi mga magsasaka na over the past decades have not been in touch with PCA. Na sa ngayon pa lamang na nagparehistro o dahil nga upang ang sabi ng batas, hindi ka makakabenepisyo kung hindi ka kasama sa rehistro. No? So, that time, 51% plus yung 300, nasa mga 1.5 million po yung na-rehistro noon. At ang sabi po ng mga mambabata, sabi nga po ni Senator Coco Pangilinan, ay alam nyo, yung 2018 registry took us 3 years to make. So about 840 or 850 a year na magrehistro. And with 1.5 million within 3 months, lockdown, height ng lockdown, no, it's already, sabing gano'n na maganda na yung naging accomplishment. But nakita ni Senator Pangilinan, maganda pala yung may deadline. Kasi kung walang deadline, kumbaga kung kailan magparehistro, no? At ang sabi naman ni Senator Villar, ang coconut registry should be a continuing process. No, ngayon sabi ang nito, maganda nito, meron na tayong confirm na mga coconut farmers based on the description sa batas kasi ang sabi doon sa batas, makikinabang lang po coconut farmers, 5 na may pag-aaring 5 hectares and below, plus yung pong workers and whether full-time or part-time, tenants, and those who are supervising kung anumang instrumento ang ginagamit, maaaring pinagkatiwalaan kung hindi ka man may-ari, pero ikaw ang pinagkatiwalaan na and some other instrument tulad po na natin, yung sabi nga, yung agrarian reform beneficiaries. Now, ang po natin, no, ang sabi ni Senator Villar, continuing, ngayon kung hindi ka nakarehistro pa, hindi ka pa pwede makinabang dito sa ngayon. Unahin natin kami di kung sino yung ito lang muna natin ang unahin mabibigyan. Now, ngayon po, sa ngayon, I mean, yung figure na nasa ko po ngayon is about since last week, nasa 81% ang aming ano po registry na ano no about ano po sa 81% of the 2.5 plus another 500,000. Umabot na po ng 500,000. So nasa 3 milyon na po tayo. Actually 3.1 supposedly minus the 60,000 na sabi ko nga yung undergoing the ano po yung natin yung exclusion process. Nasa mga 3 million no ang nasa lista, nasa ano po nakapag-update na. And ang sabi po na doon during the hearing, sige nga tingnan natin after 90 days ulit ilan na ba ang maaabot natin. So pagdating po ng September 9, we will come up with a report again to the Senate kung ilan na po yung ating narehistro. And ang kasama po sa sinabi ng Senado ay dapat i-publish natin sa mga ano yung sino-sino yung mga pangalan na nandoon. And sabi ko lang po during our report to the Senate of late, sabi ko ipapublish po natin siguro pag makomplete ito po by September 9, i-publish namin based on the deadline para ito po makita ng mga ano natin kung sino-sino yung mga pangalan na nandoon sa na nakapagparehistro na. No, so hanggang September 9 binigyan po tayo ulit ng Senado ng palugit hanggang September 9 to have the extended ano ng registration. Pero let it be clarified, sabi nga po ni Senator Villar, continuing po ito. No, but ang sabi siyempre kung ano uunahing kasi ang sabi ng batas, kailangan dalawang instrumento yung magpopondohan ng Popo Levy. Una, nakasama ka doon sa Coconut Farmers Registry. Pangalawa, yung activity o yung program is included doon sa Coconut Farmers and Industry Development Plan na tinatapos po natin sa ngayon. No, so ito po ang sa ngayon masasabi ko tungkol doon po sa ano natin. But we will publish po no yung mga pangalan noong mga nakarehistro na as directed by the Senate. Hindi ko lang po ang sabi ko nga po mahirap mag-publish ngayon no nang nasa proseso pa tapusin yung hanggang matapos itong deadline siguro ng September 9 para kung sino yung mga nakalagay nakapagparehistro. Salamat po.
Thank you very much, sir. So we have here a loaded question from John Edgar Luardo, but I saw him raising his hand. Maybe we call him now. Sir Edgar? Nawala? Okay. Nawala siya. Basahin ko na lang yung kanyang very loaded question. We, the coconut farmers, does not want to be just sellers of our coconuts. We want to be investors too towards the rural industrialization of the coconut industry. Can the farmer use his coconut as its collateral so he can invest in the coconut processing and have part ownership in the processing? Pwede ba itong sagutin ni BCOP?
Siguro kung may ano, but kahapon po actually itinanong ito eh. No, itinanong ito din sa ano kahapon. But of course, sabi nga depende sa una sa willingness ng ibang mga ano natin. But there have been some some magagandang practices na naging ng ibang mga industry players katulad kahapon. Ang isang binigay ni Mr. nung kung sa ating yung Amparitas, ang sabi niya instead of maging collateral po as o kaya maging shareholder ang sabi niya binibili nila ng mas mataas doon sa parang base na rin sa kanilang estimate para mas magandang ng magsasaka na kung paano niya in-explain kahapon yon. But ito nga we are yung titingnan natin together with our business partners has been aired kahapon din yung sa partnership but ang common ground kahapon ang sabi is una the relationship should be hindi dapat transactional, beyond transactional relationship. At ang sabi nga, ito po yung inano niya na beyond corporate social responsibility. Sabi niya, yun dapat yung relationship daw should be because yung pagtulong sa magsasaka ay hindi parang philanthropic. Hindi tinutulungan dahil lamang para sabihin as a social responsibility program, but rather because it is important, it is an essential part of business. Kasi binanggit nga, halimbawa, example na sinabi kahapon, na yung katulad ko, ako bumibili ako sa Starbucks eh. Pero pag parang may inano doon na pagkabubili ka nito, medyo mas mahal, pero sinasabi may tinutulungan siyang a certain community na na some consumers are willing to buy because may tinutulungan na alam nila a certain part of the money goes to that community para tulungan. Pangalawa, sabi ko nga ngayon, the world market is now looking at the traceability of good agricultural practices and how it benefits the farmers. So, yung mga mamimili natin sa pandaigdigang merkado will be prioritizing itong mga mga business companies that have good agricultural as well as good management practices na nakikitang tinutulungan yung mga magsasaka and therefore sa kanila rin parang may value adding doon sa mga buyers na pag ito ang kanilang kinuha, alam nila na tumutulong for particular community. Siguro ganun yung isa ring tingnan natin. Aside from gamiting collateral, sabi ko nga, this is mutual support, mutual benefit, at ang kahapon nga, ang magandang na ko kahapon is because it is essential and a necessary component of good business. Yan lamang po, unless may gustong idagdag si Mr. Gesture.
I'll add on to that.
Okay.
Yung tama po yung sinabi ni General Madrigal. Yung sa amin sa VCOP, I think we are the one talaga with the best help and support na binibigay namin sa mga coconut farmers. So, yung pong mga malalaki nating mga facility katulad ng mga Franklin Baker, Franklin Baker, meron silang sistema na sila ay nakabili sa mas mataas na presyo doon sa mga whole nut. So pinapag-aralan nila kasi yung sistema na may mga trader at meron pa rin yung sa logistic issues. So tumutulong sila para ma-address yan para at the end of the day ay mas mataas ngayon yung income ng mga farmer nila ng whole nut. Yun namang si Century Pacific na magtatanim sila ng 1 million na coconut seedlings sa area nila. Tsaka ang dami nilang mga projects sa mga corporate social responsibility nila. Sa Peter Paul, yung mga organic certified ng mga farms, mas tataas yung kanilang kinikita. At yung nabanggit ni General Madrigal, yung meron ngayong isang malaking movement in the world market, yung fair trade certification na pag bumili ang isang tao ng BCO sa ibang bansa, sa Germany, talagang automatic yung may pera na doon sa pinagbentahan pupunta doon sa farmer trade or sa mga farmers mismo. Nakita ko yung mga tinutulungan, for example, ni Peter Paul sa Quezon na talaga masasaya sila kasi yung lumalaki na yung pondo nila nagamit nila sa mga education, sa mga loans, pagbili ng mga equipment. So maraming mga very positive, very hopeful, heartwarming na nangyayari sa world market dahil they would like to support farmers, yung mga sustainability, at second, yung mismo mga companies na talagang seryoso yung kanilang mga pagtulong dun sa mga farmers.
Okay.
Thank you, Sir Marco. Time check, it's 11:50. So we have here several comments. So we appreciate the comments, but we still have to answer one more question from Sir Benigno Pecson. Actually, tatlong series of questions ito addressed to, I think, Sir Jesse Cheng from the PICOPA and also from BCO. So I will read the three questions and then sunod-sunod na lang kayong mag-answer. Number one question, what is the rank in terms of volume, historical trend in utilization, and potential growth of coconut oil in the world market? Second question, is coconut oil a dominant player in the edible vegetable market, or is it has been which cannot influence worldwide consumer demand? In other words, is the Philippines betting on a sunset industry insofar as the edible coconut oil industry is concerned? The answer influences Plan Bs for alternative uses of coconut. And then I will read number 3. This is for VCOP. How robust is the evidence that BCO influences death rates in COVID-19 cases? While BCO has been shown to positively influence mild cases of COVID-19 infection, is it possible to correlate this positive effect to a decrease in the percentage of deaths? Sir?
Ako nang
First,
si
Sir
Jessie.
Jesse Cheng.
Yeah. Go ahead, Marco.
Ayan, si Jessie ko na muna doon sa unang ano.
The first two questions, Sir Jess.
Bali, thank you. Thank you for the question. Yung nabanggit ho na kung nasa sunset industry o yung coconut, hindi ho tayo, I think we have a different view with due respect to yung nagbigay ng tanong. Siguro ho nandun tayo sa ngayon sa tunnel. Nasa tunnel tayo. Pero with the current mantra na we second what General had mentioned and also what was mentioned yesterday, kung ang mantra ho ng PCA ay going beyond transactional relationship, sa palagay ko yung liwanag at the end of the tunnel nakikita natin. Kung paano na lang ho yung implementation nito at execution nito at yung consistency na yun ang hinihiling natin ngayon sa ating mga ahensya ng gobyerno na meron ho sana na yung stable, yung committed and yung innovative na approach sa industriya natin. When it comes to coconut oil ho, in the export market, we are actually number 2 or number 3 producer. Depende ho sa taon na pinag-uusapan. Pero we are the number 1 exporter ng coconut oil. Kasi Indonesia ho ay number 1 in terms of production, pero malaking parte ho ng production nila ay ginagamit domestically. Sa atin ho, alam na natin yung sitwasyon na pag-usapan na in previous days. So isa rin ho yun sa mga issues na kung ma-address natin, malaking tulong ho yan sa industriya, lalo na sa farming sector, sa sustainability ng presyo. Patungkol naman ho doon sa nabanggit natin na yun nga, yung farming sector nainganyo sila na pumasok sa entrepreneurship. Magandang konsepto ho yun. Pero meron ho tayong pwedeng sigurong mapulutan ng mga aral doon sa CIIF. Kasi ito ho ay talagang government and farming sector collaboration nung pagtatakbo ng CIIF. Yung mga planta ho na tinayo meron ho sa Mindanao, meron sa Luzon. So kung mapag-aralan ho kung paano maayos itong maipatakbo, siguro this can become a starting point that our farming sector can look up to, especially with the Coco levy. Kasi part of itong law na pinasa na nagpapasalamat ang industriya natin sa national government kasi talagang nakatuon na sila sa farming sector, which is talaga yun ang umpisa doon tayo mag-uumpisa. So may yung konsepto yun pwedeng tumakbo yun, pwedeng mangyari. Pero siguro may mapupulot tayong mga aral from yung past experience natin at baka maayos yung pagtatakbo sa, di ba, in the future. Yun lang. Salamat.
Sir Marco?
May comment ako, is the Philippines betting on a sunset industry? I'll rephrase that question. Yung the bet dun sa ibang vegetable oils, yun yung medyo natatalo. Halimbawa, palm oil. ang palm oil sa Europe ay nag-start ng mag-ban, lalo na sa paggamit sa biodiesel o pati sa food. So there's a big shift in not using any more palm oil dahil sa climate change, yung sa deforestation issues. Ang soya oil naman, it's a polyunsaturated fat na napakadaming evidence that it is harmful to our health dahil sa masyado madaming omega-6, masyado madaming inflammation. At yung sa coconut oil ay, if you look at the data, mga nangyayari ngayon, ay talagang the future will be towards coconut oil dahil itong mga viral pandemics, yung mga tao na madaming problema sa dementia, mga health issues. Yung climate change, for example, na yung tubig ay kumukonti na ang tubig, but at the same time you have coconut water which does not use irrigation, mostly rainwater lang, but it gives you the precious isotonic water rich in potassium, magnesium, and nutrients. Meron kang coconut oil para sa dementia, para sa antiviral properties, MCTs, para sa mga ketones. You have coconut flour which doesn't have sugar, so perfect for those ang gustong ayusin yung kanilang health. So the bet really is on coconut oil. Kaya sa halip na magtanim tayo ng palm oil, talaga we need to replant more coconut kasi lalo na po yung climate change na medyo mas tataas pa ngayon ang demand sa mga coconut products. And then I'll go to the next question. How robust is the evidence ng BCO? So I'll stick to what has been studied. So yung una, which is a very strong study, yung in vitro test done in National University of Singapore, which said, so ito talaga mismo yung component of BCO, lauric acid and monolaurin, in the lab, I killed the SARS-CoV-2 virus 60 to 90% at low viral count. So it is a confirmation na yung BCO, the derivatives of BCO is anti-COVID-19. 60 to 90% at low viral count. So ibig sabihin, habang hindi pa madami yung virus at nandyan na yung BCO, ay yun yung kanyang efficacy. Yung next question, yes, so yung second ay na double-blinded controlled trial natin sa Santa Rosa, Laguna, ay so all the patients, the mild cases have also recovered. Ito po ay, so how robust is the evidence? This is the study done by our government itself, by DOST. So we have, so andito yung mga top scientists natin, si Dr. Imelda Agdepa, siya yung nag-head nung, at it is published sa international journal. So, and in that study, talaga, it confirmed what yung sa in vitro natin sa National University of Singapore na ginawa, na talaga yung efficacy sa antiviral effect, anti-COVID-19 effect ng BCO. Last, is it possible to correlate this positive effect to decrease in the percentage of deaths? Meron pa tayong pangatlo na clinical trial, ito dun sa mga severe cases sa ginagawa sa UPPGH. Ito, ongoing pa lang ito. Wala pa tayong results nito. But just the same, wag na nating, ang tingin ko kasi parang kung doon pa tayo mag-VCO, naghihingalo na tayo, yung 50-50 na yung oxygen saturation natin, bumagsak na, doon pa tayo mag-VCO. Personally, I think it's too late. Habang doon pa lang na mild pa lang, doon pa lang mag-supplement na tayo. Kasi meron na tayong talagang scientific evidence that it is antiviral and it also helps our immune system fight against COVID-19. Yun lang. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ayan.
Dagdagan ko lang yung sagot ni Mr. Jesse Cheng kanina, no, yung binanggit niya, sabi nga yung nasa tunnel pa tayo ngayon, no, dahil yung in-explain niya nga na sabi yung Indonesia basically they use yung kanilang yung coconut oil domestically. Yun din ang isang po natin, no, kasi sabi ko nga discussion yata yung kahapon na Sa ngayon, talagang ang effort natin sana na matulungan, maano natin sa ibang ahensya ng gobyerno, and of course our legislator, to be able to convince our yung especially ang National Biofuels member po ako doon, kaya lang I'm together with Mr. Jun Lau. We were exerting the effort to be able to convince yung board to pursue yung na may natin yung increase ng biodiesel blend natin from 2 to 5% at sana man lang, no? Kasi ang ibang bansa po nasa 30% na eh, no? Ngayon ang sabi nga natin, kung ito po ay maipapasa, ito siguro nakita na malaking portion dito. Una, hindi mahihirapan ng ating mga millers na gagastos ka pa ng ng export, ng transport. Yung sinasabi ninyo, yung hindi reliable, yung medyo unstable price in the world market, plus the new restrictions that we have in as regards the pandemic. No, kung dito mismo magkakaroon tayo ng stable demand for coconut oil, definitely this will be a very big boost, no? Kung kaya nga ito yung isang inano natin, no, isang effort natin to create stable domestic demand para yung nito na pagka natin and kaya yung ibang mga nito, no, millers sa ngayon, sabi ko nga, our CME producers are only operating at 30%. Dahil ang requirement pa lang ng CME sa ngayon ay nasa mga 214 or about 200 million liters of CME. Samantalang kung gagawing 5%, ay aabot po tayo ng nasa mga 600 plus to 700 million liters of CME. Sa ngayon kasi mababa yung road usage because of the lockdowns. Hindi naman masyadong yung ating diesel consumption, hindi during normal times. But kung during normal times, ang project nasa mga 770 million liters ang kailangan na CME. And sa ngayon, ang ating capacity nasa 770. No? Actually, nasa 1,000 na pala, no? 1 billion liters with the approval nitong may nag-apply ulit ng for CME production. Pero kung ang kailangan lang ay 240 million, so basically nasa 25% operation. So nag-a-apply because probably yung ibang may demand din ng CME sa ibang bansa. No? So pwede rin andun. But kung yan ay domestically magagamit natin, meron pang mga ibang gustong put up ng CME production natin kung magkakaroon ng stable domestic demand for CME. So ito po ay isang effort. And with this, kung ito, definitely this is not a sunset industry. No, na kasi siguro na ko yung kay Dr. Pekson, na sabi, maliit lang kasi yung porsyento ng coconut oil sa world vegetable oil market. Baka daw kaya nadidiktahan yung presyo. But sabi nga, depende kung ano pa yung iba natin, how else do we develop our product, no, para lalong magkaroon tayo ng magandang sa prospect sa merkado.
Thank you so much, sir. That ends our question and answer portion. To our panelists, thank you so much for your very good inputs. This morning's session had been very fruitful. So with this, I give back the microphone to Sir Dan.
Maraming salamat po. Thank you again for moderating and making sure na ang mga katanungan ay nasasagot at yung mga follow-up po ay nandoon din. Once more, our Department Manager for PCA TMDD, Ms. Rosella B. Villaruel. Before we wrap up today's proceedings, we would like to call on DA Walter Partosa to award our plaques of appreciation to our esteemed guests for today. Sir Walter.
Thank you, Dan. Allow me to read the citation for the appreciation of our participants. Philippine Coconut Authority presents the plaque of appreciation to Director Mercedita A. Sombilla Regional Development Group, National Economic and Development Authority. In grateful acknowledgement and sincere appreciation for the valuable service rendered as keynote speaker in the Coco Negosyo webinar sa CocoKwentuhan, Negosyo ang pag-usapan, suporta ng industriya at gobyerno sa Maninyog ay asahan. As part of the 35th National Coco Week celebration, given this 26th day of August 2021 at PCA Diliman, Quezon City, signed Benjamin R. Madrigal Jr., Administrator. Likewise, we would also like to present the plaques of appreciation to the participating organized coconut industries, Virgin Coconut Oil Producers and Traders Association of the Philippines, as represented by Mr. Marco Reyes, President, and Ms. Agnes Cristobal, Executive Director. To the Philippine Activated Carbon Manufacturers Association Incorporated, or PACMA, as represented by Mr. Bonifacio Fernandez Jr., the Executive Vice President, and the Philippine Coconut Oil Producers Association, as represented by Mr. Jesse Cheng as Chairman. Lastly, the plaque of appreciation is also presented to our reactor for today, Undersecretary Blecila A. Lantayona of the Department of Trade and Industry. Again, thank you to our distinguished speakers, guests, and participants for participating in today's activity. Back to you, Dan.
Maraming salamat po, Jay Partosa, and once more to all of our esteemed guests and panelists. Maraming salamat po sa pagpapaunlak sa araw na ito. As we discussed, organized-led Coco Negosyo, Organisadong Grupo, Susi ng Matatag na Negosyo. Second to the last day na po ito ng ating celebration for 35th National Coconut Week via the CocoKwentuhan webinar series. It's been an honor, ladies and gentlemen, to be at your service. Bukas po, magkita-kita po ulit tayo for the very last day. We will be discussing supply and demand gap. We will be addressing that sa masaganang ani at mataas na kita ni Juan, siyensya at teknolohiya ang kailangan. Live po tayo muli via Facebook and YouTube and via Zoom dun sa mga nag-register po. Kanina we were sitting at an all-time high of 200 plus, no? So napaka-active po at napaka-engaged ng ating mga attendees today. Sana po bukas ganun din po. Maraming salamat muli sa lahat ng dumalo, and on behalf of everyone making this possible at the PCA, thank you so much. You guys have a great day. Mabuhay at kita-kits bukas. Salamat.
Welcome to the 35th National Coconut Week. This is the first time PCA will be doing a virtual exhibit. The objectives of this activity are to establish awareness of the importance of the coconut industry, to promote coconut products and byproducts and their benefits, and to encourage investments. We have 18 private companies producing various coconut products, participating on this virtual trade fair, and 2 government agencies. By using the mouse over and clicking the eye icon, our potential buyers will be able to see company information with contact details, address, and their product lines. By simply clicking icon button of the company, you will go directly to their booth. This is the Philippine Coconut Authority booth. All marketing collaterals like company banner, AVP, posters, and brochures. Contact information can also be found in the booth and the chat box for inquiries. In central setting, it showcases coconut products. All furniture are all made of coconut wood. The directory can also be found here. Coconut bioengineering technology. The technology refers to the use of coconut materials to stabilize slopes and minimize soil erosion by placing materials in sloping land and embankments. These materials hold vulnerable soil and permit vegetation to control soil surface erosion and conserve the productivity of the soil.